See, is your name Parrick?
It's Patrick.
Oh, it's Patrick. Is there a T on there?
No, that's two R's.
It says Parrick.
Yeah, it's very tiny.
What's up, Patrick? How you doing, buddy?
Hey, doing great. How are you guys?
Good, my man. All right, so the largest desert in Australia, if you please.
It's the Great Victoria Dessert.
That is the Great Victoria Dessert. You got it, buddy. All right, Patrick, hang on because we're going to give you a $50 point card to Arnold's Family Fun Center. Thank you, Casey. This week's big friggin' deal is from Arnold's. You get two $50 point cards for the price of one. Go-karts, mini golf, bowling, more fun, action-packed excitement for all ages at Arnold's Family Fun Center in Oaks. It's one of our favorite places.
It is.
You can get this exclusive offer while supplies last at WMMR.com/deals. All right, bunch of stories to get to. And we'll start with the box office. First of all, Novocaine, Jack Quaid's movie, won the North American box office. It was a very light weekend, but they managed to pull off number one. Robert Pattinson's Mickey 17 slipped to second place. The thriller Black Bag debuted in third, just behind Mickey 17. And rounding out the top five, we've got Captain America Brave New World in fourth, and The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes movie.
Yeah.
And that was in fifth place.
That's getting great reviews.
So Tom Cruise and Ana de Armas were spotted together once again. This time the two actors were seen at a heliport in London on Thursday and Friday evening. This latest sighting follows them being photographed together last month during a night out in London as well. When they were spotted last month, the source told people that they were just friends. The two were said to be discussing potential collaborations down the line at the time. Cruise has his next movie, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, hitting theaters in May. Ana de Armas has her Ballerina movie coming out in June of this year. So what do we think about a couple with them?
I don't like it.
I don't like it either.
I don't like it.
The age spread.
Yeah, the age spread. She's on the, not that he's a dynamo for sure, but she went through Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
I don't think she needs this kind of high profile.
I don't like her being courted by Scientology either.
Well, and that comes along with it too.
Yeah.
That's with Tom Cruise. That's part of the relationship as well. So that's something to consider. But
someone was explaining what's going on. It was I guess a cosmetic surgeon or something about what's going on with Cruise's face. And apparently the same way like a bodybuilder will bulk up to trim down for movies, there's kind of a similar thing with filler that goes on with his face. I didn't quite understand it, but that's why he occasionally looks very puffy, and then for movies will look, kind of chiseled.
Yeah.
I don't get it, but that's what they do.
all right, so Gene Hackman and his wife, Betsy Arakawa, of course, passed away in February, and it turns out that Hackman left his fortune to her, to Arakawa, and it looks like Hackman made his wife the sole beneficiary back in 1995 and did not name his children in his will at all. So it's been that way for a long time. That means that all his money was supposed to go to his wife when he passed. On top of that, Betsy's will states that all of her money would go to her husband, Gene. But her will also says that if they die within 90 days of each other, all her assets would go to charity. Betsy died before Hackman, according to the autopsy report. Now, Gene has 3 children, Christopher, Leslie, and Elizabeth Hackman. While the will does not name them due to the circumstances of the death and of Gene and Betsy, some believe that they could get his assets since they are his most direct living heirs. Chris has hired an attorney as well, which could mean that he's looking to take action on his father's will. But
this is where things start to get messy, when they start to get into court and try to hash this out. It's weird, though. You think you can't help it when you hear, they have kids. Well, the kids are like 58, 60.
Well, they're further on in life. They have, so maybe the, the parents in situations like this go, hey, they have they're good to go. Yeah. We will give this money to where it pleases us.
Which makes sense.
It can, absolutely. Jennifer Garner is once again stepping up for her community. And on Saturday, she announced that in her Instagram stories that for a limited time, you can buy a cameo from her to raise money for California Wildlife Relief. following the January devastation in Los Angeles. Now, she teamed up, and this is great too, with her The Last Thing He Told Me co-star, Nicola Coster-Waldau.
Oh, yeah.
And 13 going on 30 bestie Judy Greer to create personalized videos for fans with proceeds supporting the wildlife victims. She also works directly with World Central Kitchen to help distribute meals to first responders and those affected. Garner's videos started a whopping $500, while Coster-Waldau, known as Janie Lannister on Game of Thrones, is offering vids at $250, and Greer is set her rate at $100.
I like her.
I do too.
Yeah.
Judy Greer, she's great.
She's just cute and kind of sexy in a bizarre way. I'm sure she'd be flattered by that.
No, not a bizarre way. She's just she's just cute.
Yeah.
She's a cute gal. Garner previously spoke with MSNBC following the wildfires devastation in January and shared that she had to deal with guilt about her home being spared. And
Yeah.
she revealed that she lost a friend in the tragedy and that she could list 100 people she knew who lost everything due to the fire. She said, I feel almost guilty walking through my house. What can I do? How can I help? So she's doing the bit that she can. And if you've always wanted to get a cameo from her, you can now do that.
I wonder who the highest profile star is on Cameo.
Yeah,
Because
that's a good question.
she would probably be upper tier at this point.
I would think
But I don't
so.
think you're going to see like
Yeah, Brad Pitt's not going to
Yeah,
do
it's not going to be on
cameos.
Cameo.
Yeah, and
Or is he?
that's a good question. I don't know. Some will throw a really crazy price up there,
Right.
For some to see if some takers.
Man, there's the guy named Brian Jesus, it's going to be a long day. Brian Baumgartner. He was the bald guy on The Office.
Yes.
Kevin. Thank you, Casey. He is one of the highest charged rates on Cameo.
It
That's
says
pretty funny.
highest profile. Does that mean highest rate, or does that mean he does maybe the most?
Maybe he's just one of the ones that.
Yeah.
Probably does the most. Yeah.
I know he does a lot of them. So
My
He's
friends,
such a kitschy character.
My friends Alex and Amanda. Amanda's birthday was not that long ago, and Lisa Renna did one for my friend Amanda, and it was adorable, and it was so sweet, and it was absolutely personalized, and I thought that was nice.
I had Kevin Sorbo a while ago do one because Claire was
remember.
massively into her. Oh God, friggin' loves Hercules, and he was good too. He get a nice, long chat. Didn't just like, hey, happy birthday. Where's my money?
All right, so it's been hinted at and hoped for, but a fourth season of Ted Lasso was, by all accounts, dependent on Jason Sudeikis. So what does the man himself have to say about it? He's been tight-lipped for a long time. But when he sat down with Travis and Jason Kelsey on the New Heights podcast, they asked him straight out, will there be a season 4? And he said, that is what we're writing. We are writing season 4 now. That's the official word. Ted's coaching a women's team. So that's what he had to say.
My one question is, and they asked the same question, will he be coaching that team domestically?
Yeah, don't know. Apple TV Plus followed that up with official announcement that it was indeed greenlighting the hit series for a fourth season, according to sources. Juno Temple, of course played Keeley. The first 3 seasons is in negotiations to rejoin the original cast members, Sudeikis, Hannah Waddingham as Rebecca, Brett Goldstein as Roy, and Jeremy Swift as Leslie. So I think it would make sense to bring that crew to the United States and do the fish out of water thing.
Be nice, yeah.
Yeah, which is, potentially what they might do.
And did you see some of the casting for Shrinking that was announced last
I did.
week?
Yeah, so Jeff Daniels is going to play Jason Siegel's father, which is Sidney is his name, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
like
one I
that.
saw. What else?
That was it. I don't know why I pluralized that. But,
Okay. Yeah, look, that's I think it's great casting. It's one of the best.
Yeah.
So that continues on, and in the vein of Ted Lasso, should be fantastic. Let me see here. Congratulations to Justin Theroux and Nicole Bryden Bloom, who reportedly tied the knot over the weekend.
Oh,
The actors had been engaged since last August and first sparked romance rumors back in early 2023. Theroux is most recently known for his role in Beetlejuice, while Braden Bloom currently stars in the Hulu series Paradise. Oh, I got to see who that is because I'm watching Paradise.
I was watching a documentary on YouTube of the making of Tropic Thunder, and you can't imagine the amount of times that Justin Theroux, who wrote with Ben Stiller the screenplay, the amount of times they were going, can we do this? Is this going to be acceptable? Right down to Robert Downey Jr., his character putting on black makeup and all that stuff. There were a lot of times they came right up to the precipice and said, I don't know if we can get this in the movie.
So Nicole Bryden Bloom, we just looked up. Casey, she plays one of the security people.
Yep.
She's.
Are you all caught up?
I think we're very close.
Okay.
I think we have one. I think we might have 2 more episodes to go. But she's she's this young, attractive security person. Becomes very important to the story. So let's see. This is an interesting pairing. After years of off and on dating, former Disney star Kyle Massey, who used to be on That's So Raven, and Hannah Giraldo, daughter of Pat Benatar and musician Neil Giraldo, are engaged. Hannah posted a carousel of pics flashing her new ring, writing alongside, "I'm engaged to my best friend, my soulmate, my forever."
I love you.
Giraldo has her own budding music career, and Massey has pursued rap music after starring in That's So Raven and Corey in the House back in the day. They've been together intermittently since 2018, by the way. So we're finally getting a look at what the sequel to Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis's Freaky Friday looks like. The trailer for Freakier Friday is now out. And with the long-awaited follow-up to the 2003 comedy, once again featuring Curtis and Lohan, we'll also have Manny Jacinto, Chad Michael Murray, Julia Butters, Mark Harmon, and many others. So it looks like they're going to expand the body swapping that happens, and it's going to be 4 people, and it's like Lindsay's kid and all this other stuff. So
It looked pretty good, the trailer. I mean, I enjoyed the original. Well, it was a remake, but I enjoyed their remake.
Yep. The film hits theaters on August 8th, by the way. The Mandalorian fans should get ready to drop some serious cash. Luke Skywalker's lightsaber is hitting the auction block. GWS Auctions is starting the bids at $25,000.
Yeah.
For the stunt version of the saber wielded by Skywalker in the series.
And that will go quickly.
So this is a way to own a piece of Star Wars history, but only if your bank account can handle it. The lightsaber comes encased in a custom-designed museum-quality display that perfectly captures the essence of a vintage Star Wars toy, offering an homage to the franchise's classic aesthetic while showcasing the item in an elegant and protective manner.
Nice.
That's according to the listing.
Yeah, that's how you convince your wife to put it in the living room.
The auction kicks off on March 22nd, bidding increasing by $2,000 increments, by the way. So it's going to shoot way up there.
I love The Mandalorian season 1 and season 2. The third season was
Not so much?
horrible. I was really, and now they're doing a movie. Maybe they can pull it back, but I love that character.
So you think you'll buy the lightsaber?
For $25,000, it's a done deal.
It's a
yeah.
Neil Blomkamp is suiting up for a new take on Starship Troopers. The District 9 director is set to write and helm a fresh adaptation of Robert A. Heinlein's 1959 sci-fi novel, steering closer to the book's military roots rather than the satirical spin of Paul Verhoeven's 1997 cult classic.
That's one of my favorite movies, the Starship Troopers, Paul Verhoeven's version.
This marks another team up for Sony and Blomkamp following his work on the film adaptation for the Gran Turismo game in 2023. The original film was panned as a theatrical disappointment, but lives on as a cult classic for its excessive violence and depiction of an over-the-top society. The sci-fi flick starred Casper Van Dien, Denise Richards, and Neil Patrick Harris, among others.
So he did District 9. He did Elysium. He did that movie with the robot. Chappie.
Yeah.
So he's had, after District 9, it's been sort of hit or miss. So we'll see if this is a return to form.
Yep.
That Elysium movie, I watched that, and Steve, I think maybe I fell asleep in it. I don't think that I disliked it. I just was... and then I never went back and finished it.
What was it about?
It's futuristic. Matt Damon goes to there's a planet above our planet where you can I think Jodie Foster runs it up there.
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
It's like a ring, like a space station, basically.
Yeah, and so they're the poor
The
people.
elites live there.
Right. The poor people stay on ruined Earth, and wealthy people get to go to fancy Earth.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Your fancy pants Earth.
Disney is playing the long game with Percy Jackson and the Olympians. Ahead of the season 2 premiere this December, the House of Mouse has already announced it is moving forward with the season 3.
Mm-hmm.
The first season of Percy Jackson performed quite well on Disney Plus. I thought it was really good.
So I watched a couple episodes, and I never, in this case, I really liked what I saw, and for some reason did not go back. You completed the first season?
Yeah. I thought it was very well done.
It seemed a lot. It seemed a lot darker in tone than the movies.
It was one of the top most 5 watched original series across all streaming the week that it launched. So production on season 2 wrapped in August. And casting for season 3 should be announced in the near future. So let me see. I got 2 more stories here for you. So for the second straight year, there will be no MTV Movie and TV Awards.
Oh, man.
According to a report on Deadline.
I'm thinking this is the end of that.
Yeah.
I'm thinking this is the no more.
Yeah. MTV paused the award show last year, explaining it will return this year in a reimagined format. And those plans were apparently scrapped. And updates on future plans will be revealed once they are nailed down. It was first launched in 1992 as the MTV Movie Awards and then rebranded to include TV categories in 2017. Yeah, I think you're right, Steve. I think there are too many other television and movie award shows, and MTV is not as relevant as it once was in that regard.
The audience that used to Target has moved on to other things, and that's that.
Yep. All right, and then last story, Jason Ritter has joined the upcoming Lanterns show for HBO.
Nice.
Yeah, the show will follow new Green Lantern recruit John Stewart, played by Aaron Pierre, and Lantern legend Hal Jordan, played by Kyle Chandler, as they investigate a murder in the American heartland, according to the show's official synopsis.
Do you know what they're doing? They're taking the Lanterns story and they're kind of making it like a police procedural.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
which could be cool.
I think that makes sense because they are like intergalactic cops.
That's what they are.
That's what they're supposed to be. Ritter will play Billy Macon, described as a good-looking charmer who does whatever his father wants, and he's said to have everything to lose. And the show will star Kelly MacDonald, Garrett Dillahunt, and Ulrich Thompson, and others. All right.
Apparently his catchphrase is always making bacon, Preston.
Making bacon. All right, let's do the clips now. Opus follows a young journalist who visits the mansion of a pop icon who disappeared years ago and his cult following. Here, Ayo Edebiri talks about filming in an expansive location.
I was excited. I'd never done anything like that before, and I never filmed in New Mexico, and I never worked with this wonderful group of people. So I was just excited and kind of came for the challenge, I guess.
I don't think I want to see it.
And Opus is in theaters now. Here's our next clip. Extracted is a new game show that is not for the faint-hearted. In this clip, contestant Ryan W. shares his feelings on being eliminated.
What is guns? I had no idea so I was going through, anger and sad about the other family. I had it all. And I was just disappointed because I was really doing good.
Shut the f*** up!
A new episode of Extracted premieres tonight at 8 o'clock on Fox. And there you go. That's what we have.
Yay!
Got it.
1 hour sleep.
Got it done. Oh, my God. Wow.
I assume we'll come back and talk about that.
I think we're going to have to
The
talk
journey,
about that. Yeah.
the odyssey.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my God. I am so tired.
Well, here's the positive.
Yeah.
At least it's Monday.
At least it's Monday, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Or at least we don't have a whole week. Oh, yeah, we do. Yeah. All right. Well, anyhow, we're going to take a break. Don't forget we have a concert announcement coming up with Music News later on this morning and a few other things to get into. And it's St. Patrick's Day. So
Yay!
I'll tell you what's going on with MMR and that. We'll be back in a moment. Stay with us. McGregor is in talks to reprise his role as Obi-Wan Kenobi in a series that centers around his Star Wars character for Disney Plus, according to the Hollywood Reporter.
It is Obi-Wan Kenobi, attorney at law. It's a departure.
That would be.
Yeah.
I think you should let him off with time served.
I'm giving you time served.
He's using the Jedi mind trick to sway the judge.
I think you should find him innocent.
I'm finding you innocent.
I object!
There's no way that's legal.
It's totally legal.
Oh, my God.
I think you need to go to sleep.
I got to go to sleep now.
That would be
I would
Obi-Wan
brilliant. I would totally
Attorney
watch.
at law.
This isn't the evidence you're looking for.
Yeah.
Even if you're stone cold guilty, give me a call.
Yeah, exactly. Those are the commercials. Yeah.
Demand Kenobi.
Yeah. And he's licensed in Missouri.
I am.
Yeah.
And even if I'm not, I'll convince them I am.
Yes, that's right.
I'm licensed in Missouri. He's licensed in Missouri.
Better call Obi.
Would he wear would he be a cowboy hat?
Space cowboy.
Lawyer?
Yeah.
Type? Oh my God. Obi-Wan Kenobi, attorney at law.
Anytime, day or night, even on New Year's Day.
Coming soon to Disney Plus.
Or Life Day on the Wookiee home planet.
No, this could be good. I loved him as Obi-Wan Kenobi. I didn't care for the series of movies, but I thought he pulled it off
I agree.
wonderfully.
He was the thing that kept me watching, and he provided, I believe, the emotional core to those. The second and third movies I really do like. I think they're good. In just tone and in some way, the distinction between the Abrams movies, the artificiality of the first trilogy was almost too much. It was so CGI'd that it was hard to connect to.
Yeah,
But
everything on the screen was fake.
Yeah.
Except for the people, and even in that case, a lot of like Jar Jar obviously was fake. But there's a big stretch of time where we don't know what happens with Obi-Wan, and maybe they'll fill in that time.
Yeah.
with his law career.
Law school.
With this, yeah.
Passing the bar.
Mr. Kenobi, do you have anything to say?
John Houseman.
So anyhow, we'll see when that eventually
He gets his own
surfaces.
judge show.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
This bitch still got my TV. Give the TV back.
He's settling these small claims cases.
It's like Sam
This
People.
bitch still got my TV.
Oh my God.
I suggest you return the TV. Give me the TV.
All right, TMZ reports that Davy Chase. Now, I looked her up, and it says she started the ring. She was Samara. She's the psycho.
Yes.
The scary girl.
The girl in the well.
And by the way, turns out she's gorgeous.
Yes, she is.
She was arrested, and she was arrested on a drug possession charge and spent some time behind bars. Yeah.
But she escaped through the television, didn't she?
She did. She managed to get out
knew
of there
we were
through the
going that
TV.
way.
But she's had some run-ins. Last year, she was locked up after cops pulled her over for joyriding in an allegedly stolen car.
She was locked up for 7 days.
Is the phone rings after
Right.
7 days or something like
In
that?
7 days. Yeah, that's when you die. You have 7 days to get your affairs in order before you're. 7 days.
It's been a while since I've seen that movie. 6.5.
7 business days.
Business days. So that means I get the weekend too?
Well, it's Monday's Labor Day, so about 8 days. All right, just stay there. I'm going to come over and kill you now.
Yeah, if you could be more specific, it might help in planning. So,
What if I go across the international date line? Let me get back to you.
coming up soon, we'll be addressing Halloween. But
Yes.
it's a favorite costume for Halloween parties and haunted houses.
Which is the one where you go to where they have a girl who really does the full, clicking and the whole body
Is that
gesticulation.
Penhurst?
No, it's there's probably one there, but there's one, maybe it's
one
it's the one way out where we
know what
always
you're
get
talking
lost
about.
going to.
It's in Bucks County.
Yeah.
I know exactly the one
Yeah,
you're
but
talking
the girl
about.
who does
Fear?
Nah,
Might be.
Valley of Fear.
It's out kind of in a woodsy area.
It's Grotto of Consternation is the name of it.
Hang on. Chrissy is on the line to tell us about that haunted attraction. And it is Valley of Fear, isn't
Aha!
it? So it's Valley of Fear?
It is Valley of Fear, and the girl who does play the one from The Ring, who was there for a long time, Liz, is just a phenomenal singer, too. I just wanted to let you guys know.
Really? Okay.
Oh, yeah, she's incredibly talented.
And she was good. It says you were moving along, she'd move along, and she never sang really, but she
She didn't
I'm
sing.
the chick from The Ring, and I'm coming after you.
So her name is Liz?
Yes, Liz.
All right, cool. Thank you, Chrissy. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Cause in 7 days
See ya.
you're through. Chop-a-da-ba.
All right.
It's not that scary.
I know it's not
Yeah.
scary when you sing it.
Yeah, right? Wouldn't it be a little less if it were a musical?
I live in a well and my life's kind of hell and I'm coming after you.
My life's kind of hell.
I'm the chick in the well and my life's kind of hell, but I'm a coming after you. In 7 days.
7 days. In 7 days.
7 days.
7 days. Coming after you in 7 days.
Hey. The Ring, the musical.
Turn my mic on. You turn his mic off.
I didn't turn it off. I think you might have hit the button yourself there, dude.
Uh-oh.
No, there we go. I just hit that button.
All right.
Wait a second. What's going on?
Wait a
What
second.
just happened here?
Your mic will turn off in 7 seconds. Your mic will turn off in 7 seconds.
What? I don't have a mic.
So, what's going on with Lindsay Lohan and the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia?
I'm sorry, I don't kiss and tell.
Mohammed bin Salman is his name.
Hey, Sababin bin Dalbin.
Rumors are Mohammed bin Salman.
Salbin bin Dagbin. I love you.
Mohammed bin Salman.
What?
Rumors are circulating that the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, who many critics say is a dictator and the real power behind the throne of his father, King Salman, and the perpetually beleaguered Lilo have formed a special relationship of some sort.
Wait, is it come and get roast beef?
Some believe that he is a dictator and the real power behind the throne of his father, King Salman. So sources spill that he flies her around on his jets and showers her with presents, even gifting her with a credit card.
Oh, it's a Discover card. It pays you for every purchase.
A rep denies the claim.
What's in your wallet?
What's in your wallet? But sources insist that Lindsay, who has been based partly in Dubai for a few years, is regularly courted by Middle Eastern dignitaries.
I love dictators.
In Saudi culture of late. And
Kim Jong-un, this is Lindsay.
last year declared her intention to make an all-female film dubbed Frame about Saudi Arabian life.
I want to make an all-female version of Steel Magnolias.
It is an all-female. It's already.
God damn it.
If Lindsay is, in fact, good friends with him, she wouldn't be the first Hollywood star to cavort with dictators. Kim Jong-un and Dennis Rodman, Hilary Swank and Ramzan Kadyrov.
Yes.
Steven Seagal and Vladimir Putin are just a few of the reported Hollywood political odd couples. So Lindsay might be, I don't know, tight with Mohammed bin Salman.
Wow.
And yeah, it's pretty wild, isn't it? A former Cape Breton University student says that she regrets not making a formal complaint 3 years ago against a professor who was fired this summer for demanding moose meat, lobster, and sex from a student in exchange for better grades.
In that order?
Moose meat, lobster, and sex.
All right, you don't have moose meat. You don't have lobster.
You got any lobster?
Sex. All right, look, how about sex?
She said,
Wait, I found some moose meat. Yeah!
She said, I wish I did something back then. I wish I got him fired, Jess Hardy said. Then the situation wouldn't have happened. She was a first-year student and said that Shamal Fernaduple made inappropriate comments and suggestions.
You're going to ruin the day, Fernaduple.
And her appearance, and implied that he wanted a sexual relationship with her, and he would say inappropriate things all the time. Now, unfortunately, as the story goes on, it never gets into the details about the moose meat and lobster.
Well, it's a bizarre
That's what I'm
pecking
most
order.
interested in.
Right, yes. You don't understand.
But they ended up firing this guy because he apparently did.
Was it the moose meat?
To a couple of students. It was the moose meat.
He's there in front of the dean. It was the moose meat, wasn't it? Well, actually, the number 3 on the list here, the sex.
So apparently he wasn't only demanding sex, but moose meat and lobster.
I should have stopped at lobster.
And they fired him. So there you go. That's all I have in the
It's
details.
like he's looking for something to round out the list.
Yeah.
And the sex.
Yeah. Kourtney Kardashian is fighting back against critics who claim that she does no work.
Preston, are you saying she's clapping back?
She is clapping back, Steve. Yep. And she got some blowback after posting multiple shots from her family vacations in Italy and Idaho. I know.
So what's it going to be, kids? Italy or Idaho?
She's only visiting places that start with I.
Yeah.
And Idaho happened to be on the list. In Italy,
Indiana.
In Italy, the Poosh founder partied with her 3 kids, Mason, Penelope, and Rain. Remember Poosh?
I'm sorry, I just pooshed.
Yeah, that's her. Is that her lifestyle brand? Poosh?
Trying to be like Goop, I guess.
Yeah.
Poosh. I just pooshed in my pants.
People who brought you queef and drippy fart.
But she partied.
Poosh, and queef. The award-winning triple line from Kourtney Kardashian.
The Poosh founder partied with her 3 kids nominally for her sister Kylie's 22nd birthday.
With the subtle scent of salmon.
Several other family members were there, as was her ex, Scott Disick, with whom she shares her children, and his girlfriend, Sophia Richie. Now, in Idaho, Courtney and her kids...
We're going to Idaho, kids!
...hung with her sister Kendall. One social media user commented, "Courtney, this is why people say you don't work, girl." And she replied, so she clapped back. "We all have our priorities, so I'll be making memories with my kids and amazing people while living my life to the absolute fullest." And then a fight broke out between commenters who praised her for prioritizing her kids over at work and others who said, as working moms, they were dedicated to family too. And so Courtney clapped back again.
So she clapped back at the mothers?
She says, "Who says I'm not a working mom? Because I most definitely am. Working moms can be dedicated, of course. As women, we should be supporting each other for what allows us to be our best, not being so critical and judgmental of each other. We all do things our own way."
Did they counterattack with the clap salvo?
I don't think so. There was not. So why is Nick McElwain doing the traffic this morning? Well, that's a damn good question. We had an interesting day yesterday. First of all, fantastic weekend. Stretch of days, actually, in Clearwater for spring training. We all agree it was so much fun. Much fun, and we met some great people, and all in all, that was wonderful. All we had to do was get home. That was it. This whole thing was buttoned up in a nice little package, and we were ready to return home.
And you guys were all scheduled for different flights?
Not all
had
of
the
us.
same flights?
So not all of us. So Casey and Steve returned on Saturday. Casey had a slight delay, a couple hours. Actually, it's more than a slight delay. So on Sunday morning, I woke up and I could hear and feel the wind outside. And like literally the building, this is like a 10-story building, because that building would shake a little bit because it was so windy. And I looked outside, and sure enough, the clouds are just flying by. There's palm fronds all over the place. The flags are, whipping as hard as they possibly could. And get a text from Kathy, because she had a flight that was around noon, that her flight was going to be delayed. She initially was going to head out to the airport before me and Nick and Nick's wife, Andrea, and Rodney, who we were all in the same flight. So we had a flight at like 3 o'clock. Kathy had one at noon. Marissa had one that was in the 5 o'clock hour, I think is when it was initially scheduled. So we all had different flights. And as the Kathy was the first to mention something about the delay, and wanted to go ahead and get a ride with us, even though our flight was later on because it was pushing back. We're like, yeah, go with us. And I was like, it's got to be this wind. I'm like, it's, I can totally feel it here in the building. And she assumed that as well. And as the morning progresses, she gets another delay. And then I don't know when our first delay came in, Nick, but it was... it was before we left the hotel.
It was, because you and I were trying to figure out the right time to go. And then, at one point, it really didn't bother me initially pressing. I was like, you know what? We can stop. We can get lunch. We're not in a hurry anyway. As long as we get out mid to early afternoon, we'll be fine. And so, and honestly, initially I felt bad for Kath, because I thought, this is going to push her back, because she wanted to leave a little bit earlier than the rest of us. But you and I were like, all right, mid-afternoon, that'll be fine, and we'll get back at a decent hour and be able to get home and have a normal night's sleep.
And by the way, the story ends with us, just to let you know why we're telling you this lengthy story, is Nick and I and Marissa got maybe an hour and a half of sleep, and we came into work.
So
that's how long the day was.
Your original arrival time here to Philly would have been about 5:30.
Yeah, about 5:30.
Yeah, it's been
sounds good.
absolutely doable.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, so we got into
Not so much.
We got to the airport at about noon, and so we ended up driving from the hotel from Clearwater Beach out to the Tampa Bay airport. It was me and Kathy and Preston and my wife, and returned the rental car. And even like getting into the airport, that was fine. Returning the rental car, it was totally fine. But you could just kind of tell when you walked in, like there were a lot of people there. And Preston has been in and out of this airport a lot over the last few months, and so he knows it really well. And he's like, listen, when we get into the airport, first of all, let's grab lunch because we're going to be waiting a while. So we got some P.F. Chang's.
Hey, there you go.
Delightful. We did a deep dive on the history of P.F. Chang's.
We did, actually.
Yeah. Learned a lot about the horses. So we killed some time at P.F. Chang's. And then Preston's like, listen, when we get through the terminal, go to the left. There's more seating. We can sit down.
That's what we did.
Yeah, that's exactly what we did.
It's a little quieter. You can get some work done, and you'll have available seating. So we do all of that. We take the shuttle to where that part of the terminal is. We go to the left, and it was just as packed as everything on the right.
Yeah, I go to that, like Nick said, I go to that airport now. I always go to the left. It's the opposite direction of where my gate is because it's always quiet down there. There's lots of rooms, little tables. You can spread out. Whole thing was filled with people.
So you see this as you're coming into the airport, you know something is up.
Oh, yeah. And then by this point, we got another delay, and they started stacking up, and then not just the seats filled, but I mean, we walked by this one area of an open carpet leading up to a gate, and there's like 30 kids laying on the floor.
Never
a
good sign.
God, yes. So we eventually find a place to kind of settle into, call our own. And everybody's got, it's almost like sitting around a campfire. You got your little groups here around their luggage and everything. And so, but then the delays just started compacting, and then we started, we looked at the weather radar, and we saw that there was this front, and I knew that there was something that came through the Midwest. We saw the news stories,
right, but
we saw the line of thunderstorms that went all the way up the East Coast, and it seemed to be moving like from southwest to northeast, so all heading in the direction of Philadelphia, New York, and New England, and all. So that wasn't looking good, and the delays would happen in these increments that were just annoying as hell. And I totally get it, and I don't blame the airline, but they put on a ground stop. Mm-hmm. Nobody was coming in or out. Planes weren't landing. Planes weren't taking off.
Airport shut down.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the other interesting dynamic, at least from our perspective, was that there were flights that were coming down from Philadelphia, including a plane, maybe two planes filled with people on Philly Sports Trips' second leg.
Yeah.
So our buddy Vince, who runs Philly Sports Trips, he went home from Tampa to Philly on Saturday, picked up his family, and his plan was to come back down on Sunday and bring a whole lot of people. They're going to go to the Flyers game tonight. There's the Phillies St. Patrick's Day game today. So another round of Philly Sports Trips. And so those planes coming down from Philadelphia to Tampa were also delayed. So Preston and I are sitting in the chairs at one point, and you start to get a little punch drunk or whatever, and Preston just kind of like taps me on the shoulder, and he's like, look over there. And it was poor Vince, and he was walking down. So he had just gotten down with his family, and they all looked exhausted.
What time?
That was probably like 4.
Yeah.
And Steve, their delay coming out of Philly took forever, and Vince has 2 young kids. So it's just like, again, I said this earlier this morning, like, I wasn't angry, and you can't even really get upset about it because it's just, there's very little you can do. You just have to sit around and wait.
Well, so we were on American Airlines, and listen, every airline was affected. So
right.
I don't blame these guys, but so you have your app through the airline. And by the way, I doubt anybody who was involved in this is awake at this point in time.
Yeah.
But if you are and you want to chime in, text the word Zoom to 39333. We'll send you a link if you want to share your horrific travel story from yesterday. But anyhow, so you have an app, and they will alert you and let you know when the boarding times are and when a flight is actively boarding. So Kathy gets a message. She's like, oh, my flight's boarding. We're like, awesome. All right, good luck to you. Safe travels.
See you in Philly.
We'll see you tomorrow. And then a little while later, she comes walking back, and she's like, oh, by the way, or maybe she texted. She's like, oh, yeah, remember how I was boarding? She said, that plane was going to Dallas. They don't know where my plane is.
Oh, my God.
So it was stuff like that kept happening. And then we would see, okay, boarding now. And so at one point, I'm like, all right, going down to the gate, going all the way to the other end of the terminal, and leave my seat, get down there. No, that flight is to Chicago, and in the gate, and that was what was boarding. And so then I come back, and of course, my seats are gone.
Oh, man!
At that point, you get up and move.
Oh, I hate that.
You're screwed.
Casey and I locked and loaded. We had the 2-hour delay on Saturday, so we locked and loaded in our seats. So let me get... the cynic in me wonders if this is the practiced way in which they, hey, we're getting right up. Oh, no, we're going to have to wait a little bit more so that they can. If they're feeding you information too much, you're going to be hyper aware and you're not going to just decompress a little bit.
Well,
I wonder if it's played. I mean, that's a cynical way to look at it, but maybe that's a crowd control method they use.
I think they move stuff in the hopes that things will clear up by then, and then we're talking about Mother Nature, and we simply just do not know 100% how it's going to work.
And it was the tire span of the coastline was all getting hammered. So I mean, the forecast yesterday here was lightning storms. We got a little bit, but not a lot.
When we got to the airport yesterday, Steve, there was something foreboding about it to me because of the length of the storms, because you could look on radar and see, it started off the coast of Florida all the way up the East Coast. I was like, this might be a while, and so in our group text chain at one point, Casey, you brought up the idea of driving, which I had thought about as soon as we dropped off the rental car. I was like, you know what? How long is that drive? Turns out, if we had left then and not returned the rental car, we could have pulled into One Bala at 4:54 this morning.
Oh, wow.
But more than once, I thought maybe we go back out and get a rental car, or do we just say, F today, let's get a hotel room, we'll fly back tomorrow, meaning today. So we started looking into those options, and Preston and all of us, we realized if we were to try to leave today, all of those flights started getting eliminated or were sold out. So you would have to probably come back tomorrow.
Yeah, it's a domino effect.
Yeah, meaning Tuesday. Yeah,
it sucks.
It was one thing after another after another.
So a couple of people are texting in going, make a long story short, what happened to Kathy? What's the story? All right, I'll give you the Cliff's Notes on her. She was actually scheduled to leave earlier than all of us, and she ended up her flight crew timed out. And once that happens, they need to get another crew.
That's
and you
the
can't
rule.
just whip up another crew.
Right.
And so
I'll do it.
They were going to cancel her flight. But Kathy got home even later than us. Nick and I got home after 1 a.m.
Kathy didn't leave until 3.
Yeah, Kathy didn't fly out until 3. So there's no way she was going to make it. So she is at home and in bed, hopefully, at this point. So that's what ended up happening with her. But it was funny because we're leaving and she's just there. Her and Marissa were still there. And we're like, good luck.
Yeah, I'm following the text chain and I'm
Sorry.
seeing pictures and I'm like, at a certain point, I mean, there's a lot to do, but if everyone is hanging out in the airport and the restaurants are all packed and the seats are all packed, it just drives you out of your skull with boredom.
There's a text that says, yes, it's the win, but it's also American Airlines. This was happening on every airline. This was the whole airport. They weren't allowing anybody in or out. And the same thing in Philly as well. They had a ground stop. Yeah, Maris.
Yeah, my husband was Frontier, and just to make you guys feel better, his flight was delayed 10 minutes and he got out no problem because it wasn't until about 10:30. So this all cleared up finally around there. You guys started leaving, the flights were taking off. It was those final flights that were the really early ones that took a long, long time to catch up. But you also said, I doubt anyone's awake, probably because the entire airport was hammered.
Yeah. There was. I've got a few stories.
I can't wait to hear those.
Too.
Yeah.
But we have somebody on Zoom who we're going to go to. We'll continue this on in a moment. But we got Mickey. Mickey, were you coming in from Florida?
I was. Yes.
What time was your flight scheduled?
Our flight was scheduled at 6 p.m.
All right.
We got there at 3 p.m. because my son was flying back to college, and delay after delay after delay. We ended up not taking off till about 11:15.
Wow.
It's a friggin' nightmare.
And where does he go to school?
He goes to school at Coastal Carolina. So he was flying a small airline to Myrtle Beach.
So what time did you get back and what time did you get to sleep?
We got back around 1:30. I got to bed around 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
But here's the funniest thing. I mean, we're sitting in the terminal, waiting for our flight endlessly. And people are just getting anxious, right? Everyone's drinking. You could totally tell people from Philadelphia everywhere. Out of nowhere, you hear this gentleman fart so loud. No, we had to be at least 100 feet away from him and still heard it. I have my daughter in the car with me right now. I'm taking her to school. She heard it as well. But the best line was a guy behind him says, "Don't worry about it. Nobody heard it." He turned around to another guy and he goes, "Yeah, no one heard it."
Oh.
The entire terminal was just hysterical laughing, and it just made it that much easier.
Oh, there you go.
That's fantastic. Oh my God, I love that.
Did you see Preston and everybody in the terminal?
No, we were in Frontier, so we were
Frontier.
in like Terminal E.
Okay,
right,
we were in F. All right, completely different one.
But wait, it even gets better.
Please.
So then you finally get to Philadelphia, and it's pouring in Philadelphia. And baggage, forget about it. It is like endless. It takes forever. And we're waiting for our baggage in Terminal E, and this woman comes down. She was clearly on our flight, and she was just wasted. I mean, completely wasted. She gets to the vending machine. She has her debit card. And she just keeps trying to scan with her debit card the QR code that's on the vending machine.
With her debit card.
With her debit card. She's there for like 10 minutes, continuing to try to scan it. And everybody that's sitting there waiting is just looking at her, just waiting. She must have bought the entire vending machine. Her hand is getting stuck in the thing and she's taking everything out finally. And I said to my wife, they had to be the best sun chips she's ever had.
Jesus. Yeah. I love it. All right. Thanks, Mickey. Glad you guys made it back all right, man.
Take care. Go
all right,
Phils.
Take care. We'll see you, buddy. Oh, yeah. God.
There were a couple of moments where we were sitting in the terminal where we would get active tornado warnings.
Yeah.
And so, as you're sitting there and you're watching these roll through, again, you're just like, all right, well, we're probably in the safest place that we can be. And do you really want to get on a plane if there are tornado warnings coming through?
Yeah.
It'd
be terrifying.
Press, you said at one point in our text chain about a woman who was hammered, and you said if there's an issue, it's going to be.
Yeah. So, well, let me tell you a story leading up to that because I was not going to drink. I knew that if you start to put a buzz on and you don't know when your flight is coming, you're going to come down off that buzz. You're going to feel like crap, and then you got to reset and go through all that. And then I just didn't want to deal with that sensation unless you just keep on pounding. And it was too much of a question mark. Like, are we going to have to get a hotel room? Are we going to end up staying here?
Right.
I don't want to be all
hammered.
bombed and trying to figure that stuff out. But some people just decided to go ahead and tear it up. But what I did decide to do was, our plane didn't end up taking off till like 9:00.
Right.
But we had a boarding announcement that was through the app, and it was like, 5:20, you're boarding for your flight that's going to take off at like 6 or whatever. And so I'm watching it count down, 1 minute till boarding. And then it was now boarding. I'm like, okay, looks like we're boarding. I'm going to eat my gummy that I saved for this. And we'll have a nice relaxing, indica flight, just chill. And so I popped that thing in my mouth, and I'm like, all right, good to go. And I walked down to the gate, and that damn flight to Chicago is still there with no word of Philadelphia going anywhere. I'm like, oh, here we go.
So and hypothetically, that gummy that you took would have gotten you all through the flight, and you would have been fine.
Yeah, it would have been.
Right.
It takes about an hour to kick in,
Yeah.
and then, a couple hours of relaxation. I thought it was perfect, but no. No. And I ran into a couple. I think it was Ron and Laura, and I was talking to them, and they recognized me. And he's like, "Hey, I got a gummy if you want." I'm like, "I just took one." Me too.
So did you completely run out the other end of it?
Yeah.
So the airport. Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
Still, Preston, a much better decision than sitting at the bar.
So that was going to lead me to my next story. So we're walking around the airport and, just trying to figure out heads or tails of what's going on. And I come walking. I left, went to the gate. And like I said, we're on the opposite end of the terminal. And so I come walking back, and I see a couple of police officers that I didn't see by the bar beforehand.
Right.
And they are addressing a gentleman. And as I came around the corner and got a better look at him, he was a large guy, probably, I don't know, 6'3" at least, and just a big dude. And Steve, from neck to ankles, the dude was covered in his own vomit.
Oh, my God.
Yep.
Oh, my God.
So,
could you smell it?
I couldn't smell it. I wasn't that close to him.
This was a half hour after his first vomit.
That's what you guys told me.
Which was into the plate and much more reserved. So
I need another plate.
Well, Steve, it was so bizarre. So I'm walking, again, you're just taking walks, right? And I'm going past where the bar is. And this dude's sitting at the corner of the bar. And two really nice Preston and Steve MMR listeners who had been a part of Philly Sports Trips were sitting on the other corner of the bar.
Right.
And the one guy stops me and we start chatting and he's talking about Pearl Jam and the Phillies and whatever else. And he's like, yeah, I see this guy over here, man. He's pretty lit up. And he just kind of threw up into his plate. And I was like, oh, man, that's awful and embarrassing. And the server helped the drunk guy, right? So she gave him a towel and helped him clean up a little bit.
Oh, God bless.
Yeah, super nice of her. But the dude, the drunk dude, is clearly beyond, and he's pretty hammered. So he's just sitting there with his hand in his head in his hands. And I then walk away. We finish up our conversation with the listeners, and I go down to the other end of the terminal. I call my parents, catching up on some things, chat with Ben, and then I walk back, and the dude is still sitting there. And I sit back down next to Andrew. So this is a good half hour later. And then we start to hear the commotion, Preston, of the security and the police start to show up. And I turn around and we're watching that happen. And then I see you start walking up towards us. And in that time was when everything that had been in that dude's system completely came out of his system. He puked all over the corner of the bar, all over himself.
Jesus.
And then, Steve, it was one of these things where, like, the cops, God bless them, they were trying to do it in a civil, let's get the hell out of here kind of way.
Right.
And this guy was so gone, he had no idea where he was.
Was he able to stand?
Barely.
He could stand, but he wasn't able to comprehend what they were trying to have him do, which was leave with them.
Yes.
And so they started getting loud. They had to. They were like, hey. They're like, hey, do you understand what we're telling you here? They're yelling at this point. I talked to a woman later on who said that they had been talking to that guy before the vomit thing, and he was he was in a bad way. He was talking about what a horrible father he was and stuff like that. So I felt kind of bad for him in that regard. Man. But maybe
that made it better.
Maybe he's hitting rock bottom. Maybe this will be the wake-up call. I don't know. I know.
I'll never forget that airport. That turned me around, and now I'm the best father ever.
So now on to the woman I texted you guys about.
Yes.
So we finally find out our plane is actually here. We are going to board. We're standing in line. We're watching people come off the flight from Philadelphia, or actually they were coming from New York. They were coming off the flight, and we were going to get on. And while we're there, I hear a woman behind me. She recognizes me, and there were two ladies together. Okay, this woman I'm describing, and then her friend. The first woman was bombed. Her friend was sober. Now, at first, I wasn't 100% sure if she was bombed or not. She was slurring her words, talking like this. But she had her friend with her who was totally stone cold sober.
Right.
And I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe this is her minder, and maybe this woman has a mental condition I'm not aware of or something like that. So I want to give her the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
But about 2 minutes into it, I'm like, no, she's just wasted out of her mind. And I had asked, hey, where did you guys, where you been hanging out? They were like, the really drunk gal, she goes, we stopped off at Bahama Breeze. I'm like, okay. And her friend, I think they met at Bahama Breeze. I don't think they were friends. I think this one gal kind of saw how hammered she was and was making sure she got to the airport.
Well, that's very nice.
I know. Because the really hammered gal was in group 1. The other gal was in group 6. And so the other gal was kind of looking at me behind the woman, so she couldn't see her looking at me with eyes going like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do.
I'm giving her to you now.
Yeah, no.
But she started having an issue with thinking that group 1 had been called, and she started getting all pushy and stuff. And I'm like, no. I'm like trying to calm things down. I'm like, they didn't call group 1 yet. When group 1 is called, I will let you know. and everything will be okay. So don't worry right now. They're people who need assistance and veterans, military, active military. They're letting them board right now.
I just saw a guy who would be perfect for you.
Yeah, right. Oh my God. And so I'm trying to explain this to her. She's like not believing me.
Yeah.
But now,
who are you working for?
Well, right? She knows the show, and I finally go, "Hey," I go, "Do you trust me?" She goes, "Maybe." So I'm like, okay. And then this happens. Okay, so they haven't announced Group 1 yet.
Right.
And the guy gets on to make the announcement, and he goes, "All right, passengers in Group 2. Group 1 and 2. And she heard 2 first. And she looks at me. She's like, "He said 2. You said they didn't say 1 yet." I'm like, "That son of a bitch. Why did you say 2 first?" He meant to say Group 1 and 2, but he said
now
2
you're
first.
a liar.
Now I'm a liar.
Yeah.
Now
I don't trust you.
Yeah, exactly. But fortunately, she got on the plane and there was no issue. And I saw her at the end of the night and she seemed to have sobered up a tiny bit after the flight.
So you're always in fear of the person who's going to be that because you do so many bizarre file stories about people running up and down the aisles naked. So were you pegging her as a potential naked runner?
Well, she was lit. So I was like, all right, that's a potential right there.
So that in the airport drinking during delays. So you were seeing a lot of people toasted, right?
I mean, the bars were jam-packed.
Yeah. So because they were also some of the when we were there, as it started to fill in case, those were some of the only seats available.
Yeah.
You know.
There were
just as like a place to sit down.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were thousands of people there. And so I didn't see tons of people all that sloppy, but I saw a handful of them that were like, okay, yeah, you way overdid it.
There were a few like NCAA games going on, and I'm not really paying that much attention to college basketball this year, but I heard some hooting and hollering. It scores, some exciting things must have been happening. And so you hear like at the other end of the terminal, like, ah! I was like, oh, I wonder what happened in that game.
And I got on the plane and I sat down. There was this sweet older woman that was sitting next to me, and it had been such a day. She wanted to talk.
Oh.
I did not want to talk.
Yeah.
I put my headphones on. I pulled the old.
Shut the f up!
You know what? We should probably have like cards made that just says, like I'm a deaf mute or something along those lines. And you just
Here, read this. It'll inform you that I'm a deaf mute. But no, and then people they're just trying to be nice and so on and so forth. You don't want to be, and sometimes you can simply just tell them to shut up.
Yeah. But it was.
I think I don't know if I would have. I don't know if I would have been able to survive that. Just like all the traveling that's been, going over the last week or so.
Ours was just 2 hours.
Yeah.
I mean, and that was annoying, but that's why we had the buffer of Sunday.
But what sucked about our 2 hour delay was that we actually left earlier than we had planned because I was just sitting in the hotel lobby and you walked in. We were both ready to go. So we left like a half hour earlier than and then we get there. I'm like, oh, man.
But we found out immediately because they do that, Preston, in Tampa Airport. They have that pre-check area before you get on the monorail.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So check the baggage. And she goes, oh, okay, it'll be okay even with the delay. And I'm like, what? And so didn't really know the ramifications until later on. But we had nothing compared to what you guys had.
Nothing. The only thing that really, really sucked was the
no beverage service.
Well, no, the grilled cheese that I got at the terminal sucked.
He was going on about
I'm like,
this.
man, this thing sucks. I was going to get a burger, and then I saw the special grilled cheese, so I went with that, and it sucked. It was like they cooked either side of the grilled cheese and then put it together, and then by the time it got to me,
hadn't even melted or nothing?
No, it was nothing. French fries were good, though.
What restaurant was it?
It was, I don't even know the name of it, but it was like basically like a commissary. You could get like a pizza place, a yogurt place.
I know the place you're talking about, yeah.
Next time, P.F. Chang's.
Yeah.
Because that was my lunch and my dinner. And I ate it on
you
the plane.
both ate 2 meals at P.F. Chang's?
No. Just it was the entree's enough.
Yeah.
We ate half at lunch and saved the half for later on. It was great.
By the time the total travel from getting to the Tampa airport to leaving the Philly airport was 12 hours. And that's a lot.
One of the worst moments, though, Nick, was once we got in the plane and we started taxing and we get out there and he comes on and he says, all right, it's going to be a while, folks. They're going to be sitting here another 40, 45 minutes like, oh, my God.
But for your entertainment, one of our passengers is going to run up and down the aisle naked.
Is there any sort of refund that you guys get for this?
I've heard that if you're forced to wait a certain amount of time, that you there are things that you can apply for. I don't know the details on it. I also don't know if it's weather dependent. If that changes the dynamic,
I think that changes it. Nick.
Okay.
I think it's mechanical that happens on,
or crew or whatever. And then the last thing about the day, which would then just became comical, was that when we landed, it was fine and it was actually kind of nice outside the airport and like a little bit of a breeze. And we took an Uber from Philly back here to One Bala Plaza because Preston's car was here and my car was here. And we're all tired and we're fried. And then the drive back, it just starts to downpour.
Heavy.
We get on City Avenue and the skies open up and it's just sheets of rain coming down. And so Preston like turns around to the back seat where Andrew and I are sitting and he's like, well, this just puts a capper on it and we're going to get out of the car and then get completely drenched.
Nick, I was preparing for a flat tire on the way home.
I'm surprised.
Just to be that little cherry on top.
How long to get home? Because you were driving home in a downpour.
35 minutes. It was.
Okay. I was like, I'm surprised you didn't just stay at the Hilton over there.
Rochelle was like, "You gonna sleep at the station?"
Yeah.
I'd thought about it, but I didn't want to sleep on the floor for like 4 hours. So, Marissa.
But we have these awesome spinny chairs now.
Yeah.
In the studio. I just forgot that, Preston, there was a moment that I walked into the airport and like, I just soared right through TSA, got out of the cab, whatever. And I looked at my app and I was like, oh, cool, I'm boarding in 10 minutes. And I remember walking up to the gate agent because I was actually going to say like, hey, my coworker has been here for hours. We all need to get back for work, but it's most important. I was like, in my head, I'm like, all right, if Preston gets back, that's like the order of importance like for tomorrow's show. So I was trying to see if I could just switch
Oh, that
seats
would have been
with you.
nice.
Those poor people, those poor gate agents, because on top of all of that problem, then they're like doing tech support for people who like don't know how to open up an app or schedule something or whatever. But can I ask, why is the sound system at the airport so terrible?
I know.
Like they're saying very important things. They're saying gate changes, they're giving you updates, and all you're hearing is, what is F2?
And Marissa, I have lousy hearing as it is. I just have to turn to people and go, what did they say?
I'll tell you what they said on me.
There's a point when it's between like Kathy and my flights are the last ones going, and I see the gate agent making an announcement. Kathy was on the phone. We had one of those lovely people that we were talking about at the bar. We had another one walk up to us the exact moment the gate agent was making the announcement. And I was like, oh, can you just hang on 1 second? She's like, sure. Yeah. What? Yeah.
And
what?
talking over it.
Talking over it the whole time. But I walk up and they had announced something that was going on, and her entire gate jumps up and starts cheering, doing Eagles chants. There's these little kids that are all excited and they're chanting, American Airlines, you guys rock. Like they are so excited. And I run over, I was like, what did they say? And everyone was like, I don't know. What? What? Like, the chain of information is terrible.
It was nuts. All right, so we have a Zoomer who we're going to go to. Guys, this is Ron. He's the guy that offered me the gummy. So, hey, Ron, how you doing, man?
What's going on, Preston? How you doing, man?
Great. Thank you for throwing me a lifeline. I appreciate it.
You got it. I saw you guys in the airport a bunch. I didn't want to say anything, but I saw you go by, and I just wanted to say hi, man. You stopped and gave your time to me and my wife. That was really cool. But
no problem.
Especially with the situation in that airport, man. That airport was rough.
It
was a rough day.
What time did you guys end up taking off and landing? Do you remember?
Kathy was on our plane. We took off about maybe 1:45, 10:45, 10:50,
and so
around there.
Your original scheduled departure time was early afternoon.
About 12:30.
Jeez,
man.
So I mean, listen, the air travel's replete with stories of incredible delays, but I mean, it just everyone sucks. How were you? When did you finally get home at the end of the sojourn?
Our flight landed about 1:30, 1:40. Kathy was the last person off the elevator down. I saw her.
Man. Are you serious?
She was struggling.
Dude.
But we got in our door about 2:10.
Yeah.
So I don't know what time she got home.
Did you happen to see if she got her bag or not? Did you go to baggage claim?
Nah, she was going to baggage claim.
Yeah, so that added on more time to her.
How was your gummy?
It wore. I took two, and then at 11:30, and then it just wore off. I didn't realize we were going to be there for 12 hours.
The timing, it was just terrible. It was, we couldn't figure it out. So all right,
And
well,
you're right. You're right about that guy throwing up too. My wife saw that, man. He was covered head to toe in throw up.
yeah, it was bad. I felt bad for the guy.
Did you offer him a gummy?
Yeah,
Bad idea.
He was already feeling it.
Yeah.
Wow. So how much sleep did you get? I mean, you're up now.
We probably went to bed around about 3 hours.
Wow.
Well, that's not too. That's yeah.
You're
It's
going
not
into
one.
work today?
Yeah, going into work. I don't know how you're up doing this, man. I have no idea.
I'll deal with it later. All right, Ron, thank you, man. It was nice meeting you and your wife, all right?
Take it easy, Preston.
See you, bud. All right, later. They were really nice.
So that's a good coda to this whole thing, which was a wonderful time with wonderful people and many conversations met with listeners from all over the place.
Yep.
The whole weekend, save for you guys for the last part, was just stellar.
So I was texting with Carrie, who works for Philly Sports Trips, because she was at the airport, Preston, as we were leaving, and they were there greeting the people that were getting off the plane. And so those people had a long day of travel too. Fortunately, they had some fun times in front of them. And but yeah, she was back at the airport waiting for all these people to get off the plane, and they were there for a long period of time, just hanging out, waiting for listeners to show up.
Yeah, and there's going to be a little residual of this effect at Philly International today.
Oh, yeah.
There were like a dozen flights that were canceled yesterday, and obviously things get backed up when there are delays like this. So if you do fly out today, just check on that, because there might still be some residual issues from it.
I'd be curious the amount of business they plan on doing at an airport, the bars. I'd be curious exponentially how much more. Well, how much more business did they do?
Well,
you have a trapped audience,
and the food too,
Yeah,
because
and the
that's
food.
another thing that happened. The restaurant lines, were outrageous, which is why Nick and I were so happy that we had brought our leftovers from P.F. Chang's.
And you start, how am I going to survive in the air? Where am I going to sleep?
Yeah.
Can I fall asleep in this chair?
Yeah. So it was a day, man. There was a lot happening, but it's just a nice little button on the end of actually a great stretch of a couple of days. So we'll always have this story to tell.
That time at P.F. Chang's.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back in a second after sharing all that information, and we'll dive into some bizarre file stories when we return. So stay with us. We'll be back in a moment. Point, she wrote, a travel diary coming soon.
Can't wait.
On Poosh. And I guess there must be an Instagram account, because it says @Poosh.
Poosh.
Yeah, @Splooge. Splooge. We need to start our own lifestyle brand called
Jig Jill.
Splooge. All right, so anyhow.
That's her fight song.
Yeah, I guess so.
Is my fight song. Take back my life song.
Live it,
To be
girl.
honest, though, following her on Instagram, well, I don't follow her on Instagram, but I follow her through all the pages of TMZ and all that stuff as I put together stuff for the Hollywood Trash. And to be honest, I've never seen her do anything but vacation.
I know.
Yeah,
never.
That's what her job is.
That is her job.
Yep. Well, she's working hard then.
Well, just consult Poosh if you want to find out what she's up to.
Let's talk about the happiest place on earth.
It's magical.
Disney. This is Disneyland, by the way, in Anaheim. And there's a viral video, yes, that is making the rounds of a couple of families beating the ever-loving piss out of each other for about 4 minutes before they finally go their separate ways.
That's a long fight.
It is a long fight.
Is someone in a wheelchair?
It's in Toontown, by the way. There was somebody on a mobility scooter.
Okay, all right.
Kathy, but the fight happens. They start to split up. Then it sparks back up again. Then they kind of split up. Then it keeps going on and on.
I mean, and it's like the Andy Kaufman used to do the intergender wrestling.
Yeah.
They're brawling. Doesn't matter. The dude's beating on the woman.
Oh my God! Wait, so that's okay. I'm just seeing this for the first time. The guy
fists are
punches
flying.
the woman.
Yeah. Oh, and there's a couple of women beating up. It's just a mess.
Where's security?
Not that it's an excuse, but it kicks off. They're having words, and the woman just spits right in this guy's face, and then he slugs her. But I can't figure out who's on whose side.
No, neither can I.
It's like I'm like, oh, he's hitting her now. I thought she was with him, and it's just who the hell knows what's going on.
And then the woman in the mobility scooter gets up as if she
can walk.
Yeah.
It's a miracle.
This stupid fight between these imbeciles has caused a miracle.
You know what? And there's a moment in this video where the whoever is filming this video, by the way, is laughing the whole time. She's not with them because obviously she would be getting in the middle of this.
And she's up close.
But there's an older woman who gets knocked down to the ground on her back, and you hear the woman filming just laughing her ass off. And I'm like, this is, and you can hear children crying in the background.
Oh my God.
There's a little kid walking around, and it's obviously this is there. I will freely admit, I chuckled a few times, but the really tragic part of this here is this little kid is watching these adults do this and walking around with his hands up like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Even a kid can't figure it out.
And he taps, I guess, who is his mother. Like, hello, I'm here. Obviously he needs attention. He's upset too.
And all the while in the background, you have the delightfully colored Toontown.
Oh, my God.
Happy place.
Listen, I understand that things can go awry anywhere, and somebody can have a bad day, and something can trigger. But if you can have the presence of mind to be aware of where you are, right then and there, you're in Disneyland, the happiest place on earth. Come on, look around you, see where you are. Shut up. But some people are just. Some people are just a-holes.
It just kills me in this one because there was another one, Preston. I forget it was at like a kids park. It was like an amusement park. It very well may have been Disney World. And this one's great because the woman in the mobility scooter in that one, Kathy, she doesn't get up, but she starts using her mobility scooter to join the fight. She's backing up and ramming the brawling people.
So apparently this one, they're all in the same family. They're all related.
What?
Yeah.
What?
So this is an ongoing investigation. No arrests have been made, but there was infighting that had begun outside of the park, and the fight just continued inside the park. No arrests. They all knew each other.
Ridiculous.
Well, not yet anyway, Case. They said the investigation's ongoing. But
after they viewed the video, now they're looking at potentially.
Because then that guy goes on.
Everything. I saw it all. It's a mess.
But then the guy goes on to slap another woman and take her to the ground.
Kathy, he doesn't just slap her. I mean, and this is horrifying, but he gives her a haymaker.
Just some unwritten rules, right? Like
protocol.
Yeah, protocol.
You
and all
don't
that sort of
fire on someone else's bitch.
No, you don't.
Not in Toontown.
Not in Toontown, man. You take that to Epcot.
I think, Casey, of your story at the 4th of July parade all the time.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
And the bending down and addressing them as a father to kids who needed to be addressed by their father. But like you get in that mentality sometimes, and this is a place where that can happen.
You can have an Independence Day from life.
Oh, I totally understand.
I'm going to make you independent of your life.
But on the outside, everybody else.
Hey,
is like,
what a good dad.
Oh, you were. Oh, you poor thing. You're so upset. You better stop crying.
Don't cry. Don't even let him know you're in pain.
A former Cape Breton University student says that she regrets not making a formal complaint 3 years ago against a professor who was fired this summer for demanding moose meat, lobster, and sex from a student in exchange for better grades.
In that order?
Moose meat, lobster, and sex.
All right, you don't have moose meat. You don't have lobster.
You got any lobster?
Sex. All right, look, how about sex?
She said,
Wait, I found some moose meat. Yeah!
She said, I wish I did something back then. I wish I got him fired, Jess Hardy said. Then the situation wouldn't have happened. She was a first-year student and said that Shamal Fernaduple made inappropriate comments and suggestions.
You're going to ruin the day, Fernaduple.
And her appearance, and implied that he wanted a sexual relationship with her, and he would say inappropriate things all the time. Now, unfortunately, as the story goes on, it never gets into the details about the moose meat and lobster.
Well, it's a bizarre
That's what I'm
pecking
most
order.
interested in.
Right, yes. You don't understand.
But they ended up firing this guy because he apparently did.
Was it the moose meat?
To a couple of students. It was the moose meat.
He's there in front of the dean. It was the moose meat, wasn't it? Well, actually, the number 3 on the list here, the sex.
So apparently he wasn't only demanding sex, but moose meat and lobster.
I should have stopped at lobster.
And they fired him. So there you go. That's all I have in the
It's
details.
like he's looking for something to round out the list.
Yeah.
And the sex.
Yeah. So I was surprised the other day when my daughter came to me and described a very specific detail of what I'm assuming. I don't know if it's a social class or if it's just a fashion or what.
Huh.
But I was like, okay, this is all new to me, and I've forgotten what the full description is. So if anybody wants to call in, if you're familiar with this term, but Visco Girls.
Visco Girls.
Yeah. And that's spelled VSCO.
Yeah.
Visco, you've heard of this, Nick?
I have. I hadn't heard of it until Friday. And so I learned about it just as recently as you did, Preston. Visco,
From Ben?
No, from BuzzFeed, of all places.
Okay.
I read an article about it. I saw Visco online somewhere, right, as about a post. I didn't know what those letters meant, VSCO.
Yeah, I still don't know.
It's an app, and it stands for Visual Supply Company, right? And, the reason that I know that it's an app is that my girlfriend does some photography on the side, and she's used this app to process photos. What girls now are doing, Preston, is they're taking this app and they are applying it to their social media posts, and now it's also become its own social media thing.
Nick, look at this top text. Do you know what that means? Okay, so it just says SK. Apparently, they go around going.
Wait,
like that.
okay.
Okay.
So,
There's a Visco.
so what is it?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure this out. Our phone lines are lighting up, so we'll find out in a minute.
It's
right. That's what it is.
As far as social status goes, it's a new thing for this school year. It's brand new. But
How is it social status though?
because it's a look. So basically,
it's a look.
If you are a Visco girl, you are you kind of look like you came from the beach. You wear scrunchies around your wrist.
Scrunchies are a big thing.
Seriously?
Yeah.
You carry
on your wrist.
You carry around a hydro flask. And you have a natural look, Kathy. So you don't go heavily made up.
So like Renee Zellweger.
So it's not like a filter that
It is. Yeah. So the Visco app is a filter that you can apply, but it's a lighter filter. So sometimes Instagram models will go very heavy on their filters, right?
Right.
And so you look incredibly made up, and you will take an Instagram app and you'll use that app to change your look essentially on your social media post.
It happens all the time.
Visco girls, Steve, don't do that. They go the opposite route. They go very natural,
completely raw,
very light makeup,
unfiltered.
Yeah, and there are two essential settings on the Visco app that you use for your look. And now it's translated from this app to real life.
Okay.
Wow, man, Preston. So when in school we had Crisco girls, we had a lot of fried chicken.
Yeah. Sure.
Crisco girl.
They would bring fried chicken to school.
Yeah, those are Crisco girls.
Crisco girls.
Yeah.
My
Florence Henderson was a Crisco. Westonality.
And Steve, there we go.
That's Crisco girl.
It's them eating the skin off of the chicken. So Caroline, my daughter, was wearing a shirt and it was too long. She's like, I'm tucking this in because I don't want to look like a Visco girl. Not that meaning that she doesn't want to be one, but it looks like you're not wearing pants.
Not wearing pants. Okay,
yeah,
I've seen
you're
this.
not wearing shorts.
I've seen this. I've seen the looking like you're not wearing shorts.
Where did that look? That look has been around before.
No, but I've recently seen it pick up, and I'm like, look at these kids. Like their shorts are so short that they look like they're not wearing any.
My dad was a Visco girl before anyone knew. He just wear a long coat and shorts.
Yeah.
You also might have known them as flashers.
Yeah.
Hey, so is your daughter into it? Or is she Visco? What do you say? Help me out here, guys.
She's a Delco girl.
She's a Delco girl, Kath. You know what? I don't know.
She
I don't
Visco?
know. I don't know how new this scene is, but here's the deal. My kids go to Catholic schools, so they all wear the same thing at school. And then we just got done in the summer, and we were down the beach all the time.
I saw a text that this is supposed to be camera sound.
Oh my God! I love it. I want to be a Visco boy.
I always wore big clothes. There was a period of time where we looked like we were 900 pounds only because we wore oversized
baggy
clothes.
stuff. Baggy stuff.
Who decided all this stuff? All these various things together make this. You know what I mean?
A Visco girl.
Yeah.
I think it's just a style. I keep relating it to the hippie. It's just
It
the
is,
hippie
but
like
somebody had to put these pieces together. They don't necessarily, automatically go together.
The thing, Preston, that you're reacting to, and I think I agree, is because things like this would happen over the course of a little while. And like in school, going to school, you start to see people adopting something, and there'd be a movie or there'd be something that they would, or a musician or somebody they're responding to. But this seems to, for a lot of the people are saying from 0 to 60.
I know.
Because of social media.
It's like now this isn't a fashion thing, but it was an accessory people had. Remember the fidget spinners?
Oh, yeah.
Like that took off in 10 minutes.
Boom.
And everybody had them, and then they were gone.
Look at this. Visco Girl Starter Pack.
You can buy this
$150
for $150.
Should we get it, guys?
It says Giant Visco Starter Pack.
Preston, we need to be Crisco boys.
Scrunchies, Crocs.
I like those tie-dye Crocs.
What else? There's the shorts, and oversized shirt. What do you see?
No, Kathy liking the Crocs now.
I like the tie-dye
Just
Crocs.
like 10 minutes ago, she's like, not for adults.
Oh, well, no, I wouldn't buy them and wear them.
But Steve, it's funny because you were talking about how these things, how they can happen so quickly. When people are getting back to school this week and they come home demanding the scrunchies, that means that like this thing is taken off and they want to be like all the other people who are in the group.
That's funny.
Some people are texting in, and I've gotten some emails that there is a phrase that goes along, not just the SK one, I oop.
I oop.
I don't know what that means.
There's another one, Nick.
That's it.
No, that's mine. You can't have that. I oop. But I oop is a thing.
Can we make that part of the Crisco boys?
Sure.
Yeah.
That's allowed. But
All right, how's I oop spelled?
I oop is the letter I, and then OOP.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Again, it says I oop. Here, there's I oop can be used as a reaction to express sudden surprise or shock over an unexpected situation. That's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
For example, you can say it if someone calls someone else out on social media in a mic drop moment, as in I oop. Okay.
Because it says here, honestly, who says mic drop anymore? That's old now.
That's so old.
Nick, you know that I love you, but I do find it a little creepy that you know the most about this.
Well,
anyone on the show.
Research. Yeah, no, I stalk 12-year-olds.
Okay. Do you want to hear it?
Interesting. Oh, yeah.
Jasmine
thanks.
Masters, I think.
All right.
I crashed in my back seat for a couple of hours, and
All right, okay.
That's funny.
And,
Okay.
And hence the beginning of a new phrase.
Wow.
Bizarre.
Sitting on your balls created a thing.
Where some things come from
And yet
how they take off.
We can't get to take off.
Nobody can pronounce it.
And it's very hard.
That's the only thing.
I oop is much easier. All
Although I got a text from somebody who says I'm 27 and I just found out I'm a Visco girl.
it's like going and looking at your X-rays.
Yeah.
I have some bad news. You're a Visco girl.
What would be some positive workplace habits? It doesn't give any examples here at all. So I'm wondering what we could do. Maybe some yoga or something like that.
Well, let's assess.
Maybe like clean up your area.
Are you talking to me?
No, I was just saying that's like a positive workplace.
I just
moved all my stuff in there. It's a mess.
This morning,
looking at you.
Kathy goes to me. She goes, "Oh, your area looks really nice, Steve." And Preston goes, "Oh, what about mine?"
Mine's just an absolute. It looks like an atom bomb went off.
It actually looks worse than the old office.
I haven't done anything. I just dragged all my crap in here.
Listen, I was
and
not
set
talking to you.
And
I was just saying in
Steve,
general.
Your area looks very nice.
That's pretty mean.
Steve came in over the weekend and worked on his.
I did. Whereas Preston just poured it his
I
over.
just brought my stuff over and left it. I'm going to work on it today.
I was just complimenting Steve because the shelving in the new office was made specifically for his guys. Like,
yes, my Batman.
It looks so nice. I wasn't saying it.
Kathy did it in the way where you're talking to one person, but your mouth is actually towards someone else who you want to make sure they hear that particular statement.
Your part of the office looks much better.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
Brought to you this morning by Pro Team Collision. If you find yourself in an accident, trust the pros at Pro Team Collision, your trusted auto body repair shop located in King of Prussia. You can go to ProTeamCollision.com. I'm going to start with a pretty heavy international story. At least 59 people, you guys probably saw this, had been killed and more than 155 injured in a nightclub fire in North Macedonia. The blaze broke out around 2:30 a.m. at the Pulse Club, where 1,500 people were attending a concert by DNK, a popular hip-hop duo in the country. The Prime Minister, Mikoski, had called it a difficult and very sad day for the country. Arrest warrants have been issued for 4 people. Tuskovsky said that, according to initial reports, fire had been started by sparks from pyrotechnic devices that had hit the ceiling, which was made of highly flammable material. And this sounds a lot like the Great White incident that happened so many years ago. Footage shows the band playing on stage when 2 flares go off. Sparks then catch fire on the ceiling before rapidly spreading. Video showed people trying to extinguish the flames on the ceiling. It shows the club was still full of people appearing to watch efforts to put the fire out rather than leave. The Interior Minister had earlier announced the death, a total of 51 people, some 100 injured. In his update, he said 35 of the deceased had already been identified. Local media had reported to the government that they are set to declare 7 days of national mourning, carry out urgent inspections of all nightclubs and restaurants that are hosting large gatherings. Wow. All right, lighter story than that. Out of Florida, where we just came from this morning. A police officer ended up delivering a pizza to a resident's back door after the delivery driver arrived and found an 8-foot alligator in the driveway.
This thing was enormous.
The Bradenton Police Department shared body camera footage on social media showing the scene that unfolded when an officer was called about a large alligator in the neighborhood. The officer located the gator underneath a resident's car in the driveway and was awaiting a Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission trapper when someone else arrived. The pizza man showed up. So the officer stopped the driver. Actually, it was a pizza woman, alerting her to the alligator between her and the customer's front door. After a brief discussion, the officer agreed to take the pizza to the customer's back door. A neighbor called the home's resident, who soon appeared in the front doorway, but the officer alerted her to the gator's presence and told her that she could collect her food at the back door. The woman asked the police officer, "How much was it?" He said, "I have no idea. I'm not the pizza man." The woman
I like your uniform.
ended up taking the food and giving the officer some money to pass along to the driver in the incident. I'm not sure what ended up happening to the gator, but hopefully they trapped him and got him out.
Yeah, animal control maybe.
The Virginia Zoo responded to rumors of an escaped gorilla in Norfolk by confirming that not only were all of its animals accounted for, but the zoo doesn't even have gorillas.
How about that?
Social media lit up.
Yeah, I'm a visiting gorilla.
With reports of a gorilla on the loose following a power outage Tuesday night in the area, with several Facebook users claiming to have seen the large primate.
Oh, I seen it.
The Virginia Zoo put the rumors to rest, joking that these sightings were likely the facility's mascot, Zoo Squatch.
Zoo Squatch.
Which, by the way, I love that.
That is great.
The zoo said, "We heard talk of an escaped gorilla, but we think it may have just been Zoo Squatch spotted on his daily run. But don't worry, he's made it back to the zoo. And our keepers want you to know that all of our animals are safe and accounted for, except for gorillas, because we don't have those." Officials wrote that any real escape would have been accompanied by a swift statement from zoo officials. They said, "Just a reminder, while these hoaxes can be silly, you can rest assured Virginia Zoo has extensive safety measures and protocols in place to keep our animals and community safe. Should there ever be a real animal escape from our facility, a formal statement will be issued by our spokesperson to all local media, as well as on our Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and website for the safety of our neighbors."
Yeah, we're looking at the costume right now. It doesn't look like Zoo Squatch as much as it looks like Zubaka. Maybe.
Yeah,
a little
more. It does look a little Wookiee-ish.
Like Zubaka.
Of the animals that occasionally escape from a zoo, I don't think I've ever heard of a gorilla escaping.
No. An influencer, here's another animal story, who received widespread criticism after she stole a baby wombat from its mother in Australia, has broken her silence. The social media influencer named Sam Jones addressed the controversy in a two-part statement posted on her Instagram on Friday. She described herself as an outdoor enthusiast and hunter, and claimed that she took the joey from its mother because she was concerned about its well-being, and said that she did not act from a place of harm.
I'm sure that's it.
Did you guys see the original video?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, she did not take it out of... No, she was picking the thing up because it was cute and she thought it would be funny.
Yep. Jones came under fire earlier this week after she posted a video on social media when she was seen picking up a baby wombat and carrying it across the road.
In a bad way, too.
Away from its mother while laughing. In the since deleted video, Jones' companion off camera laughed as she ran over with the joey. She said, "Look at the mother. It's chasing after her," the friend said, while the joey's mother followed. Jones was then seen holding the joey, who appeared to cry in distress. She said, "I caught a baby wombat," smiling before the animal's mother approached the car. And she said, "Okay, Mama's right there and she's getting pissed, so let's let him go." She captioned the video, "My dream of holding a wombat has been realized." Baby and mom slowly waddled back off into the bush.
I think they should send Zoo Squatch over to kick her ass.
Yeah, right? So she was met with backlash over the video, receiving criticism online from the public along with animal rights organizations. The Australian Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, publicly condemned Jones's actions and said to take a baby wombat from its mother and clearly causing distress from the mother is just an outrage. The Australian government announced that Jones had left the country after previously stating the conditions of her visa were being reviewed following the video. She is, since replied and said that she was trying to make sure that the wombat was safe.
Intervening on behalf of the wombat.
Wouldn't get hit by a vehicle, and that nobody should have a real issue with her. She said she is sorry for doing it. But,
right, yeah. I rescued it.
There you go. That's what I have in the bizarre file for you this morning. All right, there is an event that is coming up. It is going to be Friday, March 28th, and Steve Morrison is going to be your MC for the night.
Yes, I am, and it's at a great location, Preston.
Yep, we would like to welcome from Morris Animal Refuge, Mr. Louis Czechia. Sorry, I messed up your name, Czechia. And so the event that we are referring to is the annual Fur Ball Gala.
That's right. It's the 20th annual Fur Ball, and this year's theme, last year we celebrated our 150th anniversary, so this year is racing into the next 150 years of life-saving.
Wow. And 20th year for the actual Fur Ball. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So it's a special year that this is happening.
So years ago, we had it at the Simeone Foundation, which is this incredible museum of exotic cars. You've been there, Preston, have you not?
No, I never have been.
Oh,
I'm quite aware of it, but I've seen pictures, but I've never been myself.
It's sprawling, and it's got all the wildest race cars and hydrogen cars and all of these things that are just many are the only ones in the world. So, Louis, we got it again, correct?
Yeah, it's the largest sports car museum in the United States and one of the biggest in the world. It's pretty amazing.
So we're going to have the event. And explain for people who aren't familiar with Morris Animal Refuge, what they do, because they do so much.
Yeah, so we're a 501c3 nonprofit, and we've been at 1242 Lombard Street for since our beginning in 1874, and we help and rehome homeless and abandoned and suffering animals.
And so the event it's a gala. It's you dress up. It's a lot of fun. What's going to be happening during the evening?
Oh, well, it's just a night of food and drinks, and we're going to have some great, really fun activations. We're going to have a slot car race that people can go on and kind of get a feel for racing real cars, which would be nice. And we have a Fund the Mission that'll help raise money for our charity. And also we have some great entertainment. We got Steve, of course, which is manning the mic, which is always entertaining. We got DJ, live music, and just it's going to be a lot of fun.
DJ Perry is awesome. And and also as you said, the catering and the animals, puppy and
puppies and kittens will be there for cuddling, and couldn't ask for anything more.
Nice. And so the auto museum is open. This whole thing, you'll be able to peruse through and see all this stuff too. So
that's a nice thing about the event, because it's sometimes events you're just kind of in one rectangular room and you kind of are just you stay where you are or stay with people. But this one you can kind of wander around, hang out with people if you want, look at some great cars, and just make a night of it.
It really does make it fun. It was one year was at the Franklin. I mean, it's just so you're getting the museum, you're getting these incredible cars and the charity, and you're doing a lot of good work for it, and that's really cool. A lot of great prizes to raffle off, tons of stuff. We always have great packages that people can be a part of. But again, if you've never been to the museum and you want to do it for a good cause, it'll blow you away. And the animals, of course, are helping out the animals. It's just a wonderful collateral to it.
Yeah, it's a great excuse to go, especially for car guys and car girls, just coming in and seeing all these fantastic cars and just knowing you're saving lives while you're doing it.
Thanks for doing it on a Friday night too. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like the Tuesday night things, I'm like, I'd love to go, but no. So no, that's great. And how do people get tickets, Lou?
Oh, it's easy. PhillyFurBall.com. Just go on and there's information for tickets. If you can't make it, you can donate. You can do your silent auction virtually or at the Fur Ball, and it's just a great place to, great destination, PhillyFurBall.com. You can find out all the information.
So if you're not there in person, you can still bid on items.
Absolutely.
But you'll have to do it within the time frame that's taking place.
It closes, right? It'll close at the night of the event.
Good to know. PhillyFurBall.com?
Yeah.
All right. We'll make sure that we have that posted online. I know you look forward to this event, Steve.
It's always a great one. And this location in particular, Preston, I remember the last time we were there, I walked around, I'm like, look at all this friggin' stuff. Right. I also like the slot car racing. I think that's very cool.
All right, so a week from this Friday, you'll want to get your tickets right now at PhillyFurBall.com. It is the Furball Friday, and it's the 20th annual, so you got these cool little anniversaries that are happening.
Yes, absolutely.
So, awesome, man. Lewis, we'll put the word out and hopefully fill that thing up.
Happy birthday to you, by the way.
That's right. Today's his birthday.
Happy birthday. Thank you very much.
It's a big one today, too.
Yeah, it's 30. So I just figured
Times two.
Yeah.
Don't look a day over 29. All right. Thank you, Lewis.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Thanks,
Lewis,
guys. Appreciate all you do. Thank you.
Morris Animal Refuge. All right. We're going to take a quick break. We'll come back in just a moment. Stay with us.
Orderly way you've approached your workspace is impressive.
I swear, I was not saying it because yours was messy.
It did feel good to purge, like
Oh my God, I
getting
love
rid of
it.
a lot of stuff. And I found files from like 2008, 2009 when we moved into that office.
I found that puppy I never gave Marissa.
Oh no!
Yeah. Listen, to make me realize how long we've been in that office, I've had some stuff hanging in my area on the wall space there, notes that my sons wrote to me.
Oh yeah.
In little kid
That's
handwriting
cute.
of Daddy, I love you. I hope you have a nice day. I mean, that's how long we've been in that room. We've been in that room for 15 years.
And it does mean a lot because we started when we came here. First off, so that was not initially our first.
I guess
office
it hasn't been
was,
15 years.
Yeah,
It's been at least a dozen years.
right.
Though, but
because we're in it was Kathy, you, and I were in that small office that used to be a closet. Yeah.
So here's another thing that you can do to help get past the post-holiday vacation back-to-work blues. Don't dwell.
Okay. Don't dwell.
Yeah. Don't feel sorry.
Lou, I couldn't help but noticing that you're dwelling. Is it that obvious?
Doesn't dwell mean to just live, just to, just to
sort of
stay in one
ruminate,
place?
yeah.
Hanging out.
Don't dwell. Don't feel sorry for yourself, it says. Start some new office habits. This is how to beat the post-holiday.
Should you clean your office area?
The post-holiday vacation back-to-work blues. Clean your damn office. All right, how about this one? This is just this. Here you go. This is all it says you need to do. Reflect.
Well, wait, that's too close to dwelling.
Seriously.
Where's the delineation
That's
between
right.
reflecting and dwelling?
You're not supposed to dwell. However, you should reflect.
God damn it, Earl, I was reflecting.
Looked like you were dwelling.
Well, I wasn't. You nosy ass.
So it says here.
Gentlemen, what? Well, he's always saying I'm dwelling. I was clearly reflecting. My head was up with my chin cocked a little bit to the left. That's reflecting.
That's reflecting.
Dwelling is hands on the temples down.
Yes, yes, chin down. That would be
You
dwelling.
idiot.
Yeah. Lily Allen and Stranger Things star David Harbour dating.
This is way better.
I had to look up Lily Allen, and I still don't
singer?
know who she is. Is she a singer?
I believe so, right?
I think
don't know.
she's
A dancer.
Oh, no.
No, she was a dancer.
She's a dancer?
Oh, I like her.
Oh, her brother's Alfie Allen from Game of Thrones.
And Lily Allen is from a while. She had career was on fire about 8 years ago, 9 years ago.
Her brother is Theon Greyjoy.
Yes.
From Game of Thrones, and she's a singer. No,
she was a dancer.
Honestly, is she a singer?
She's a singer.
All right.
Her brother is Marcus Allen.
Honestly.
And Preston, is she a singer?
Yeah, she's a singer.
I'm not doing it.
Why not? No, she was a dancer.
Stop. Gets worse.
Okay, I thought she was an actress.
No, she's a singer.
No, she was a dancer.
Okay.
She had a couple of hits. She was at yes. What are some of her hits? We all know her hits.
Well, the girl that we're looking at, the girl that we have up in this photo, I think is the actress that I looked up on IMDb.
No,
this
that's
morning.
the singer.
No, she was a dancer.
No, she was a dancer.
Lily Allen, for Christ's sake, she's a musician, right?
Okay.
Are we looking up two different people?
There are a ton of acting credits for
No, those are soundtrack.
someone named Lily Allen. Those are soundtrack. Oh.
Those are not acting credits.
Okay. We all
was an
clear?
actor?
Are we clear? No. She's a singer.
She has a song called "Fu."
Okay. Yes, I know that one. All right.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyhow, they might be dating, her and David Harbour.
Lily legs, Lily, really.
Londoners have spotted the two out hanging out and, of course, post about it on social media. Somebody wrote, David Harbour, when on earth did this happen? And it was alongside a screenshot of her of her TV screen showing the couple at a boxing event.
Huh, good for him.
They first sparked rumors earlier this month when they were spotted taking in a West End performance of the Lehman trilogy.
Are we good enough friends with him now to just blow a call in?
Of course we are.
Yeah.
What time is it in London?
We did have a really good time with him.
Yeah.
It's like noon.
Super nice guy. Yeah, it's
So he's probably up.
Yeah, we give him a call.
Hello?
Yeah, David.
Yeah, David, it's Preston and Steve. Are you dating Lily Allen?
Yeah.
She's a singer, right?
No, she was a dancer.
Jinx, oh my God!
What are Casey and Kathy doing on this call?
We just had to do that. We had to do that because this is funny.
Okay, bye.
Okay, Woody Allen, maybe persona non grata in Hollywood, but Scarlett Johansson would work with him anytime. The A-lister is one of the few stars to publicly signal her support for the director.
He was the original choice for Captain America.
I did not realize that he would actually.
I don't think the serum worked.
Yeah.
I don't feel very super.
He was the original guy.
Yeah. Imagine that. The thing opens up.
Have I changed dramatically?
Oh,
He comes out worse.
Yeah. They go the opposite direction.
He got older.
He's aged. His eyesight has gone bad. He's wearing glasses now. His hair's falling
Ready
out.
to take on the Nazis?
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan, personally, of their conduct.
Several stars.
They reach over. He just looks over. Stark's father reaches over and had the lever all the way to the wrong side. I'm sorry. I had it on skin here. I should have pushed it to muscular.
Several stars, including Frida Pinto, Greta Gerwig, Colin Firth, and Mira Sorvino, expressed regret at working with him previously and pledged to never work with him again. But when the Hollywood Reporter asked Johansson, who worked with him on Match Point, Vicky Cristina Barcelona, and Scoop, she had nothing but good things to say about the 83-year-old, whose daughter, of course, accused him of sexual assault. He's denied all this stuff, but she said, "How do I feel about Woody Allen? I love Woody," she told the Hollywood Reporter. "I believe him, and I would work with him anytime." She said, "I see Woody whenever I can, and I have had a lot of conversations with him about it. I have been very direct with him, and he's been very direct with me. He maintains his innocence, and I believe him."
Well, that's her prerogative to take it that way, and that's okay.
She said, but she also understands why others don't. She said it's hard because it's a time where people are very fired up, and understandably, things needed to be stirred up, and so people have a lot of passion, a lot of strong feelings, and are angry, and rightfully so. It's an intense time.
What a missed opportunity that they could have worked in the Avengers films together. It would have been so great.
I ran into somebody who works in our office, and I'd asked her what she did the night before. Maybe it was over the weekend. She's like, "Yeah, well, I went to an I Do barbecue, and blah, blah, blah. This is kind of skated over there." I'm like, hang on a second. What's an I Do barbecue? You guys ever heard of that before?
No, but I haven't.
Like an engagement party?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
I'm
only-
gonna vomit.
But only for people in the wedding party.
Right. Okay.
So
It's kind of where they do they ask them to be in the wedding party? Like that's part of the event.
I'm not really sure.
So I've been to like where they invite the bridal party over, and that's you're at a party, and they ask you to be in the bridal party. So
Is that what that is?
You're going to a party, and you don't actually know yet until
you get to the party,
Right.
and then they say, "By the way, you're all going to be in."
or they ask you. Yeah.
Okay.
So do attendees they don't know until some point in the evening when?
I mean, I think for my brothers, I knew I was going to be in my brother's wedding, but
Right.
yes, and then they gave us a bottle of wine, and on the wine, she had put in like a cute little saying asking us to be, it was a custom made wine label, and then it was a cute saying asking us to be in the wedding.
I would attend I'd prefer not barbecue.
I actually never liked the idea of an engagement party, and so you can put a cute little name on it, right, and make things rhyme, and I'm not going to like it or dislike it any more or any less.
Well, that's what they do, though. Yeah, that's what whoever they are.
There must be some counselor, commissioner, somebody who puts together like. With the gender reveal stuff now, that went from 0 to 60.
Now, I'm wondering where this started because there's an article on the knot.com, right, which is a wedding magazine and a wedding website. And so do you think that they wrote the article thinking that this might be a thing, or did they write the article because it already was a thing?
I think probably they can help boost it by reporting on it.
Right.
All the not readers. But I don't know. Usually, something has to have a little bit of traction before you report on it, right?
So yeah, I would think so. But so you have an engagement party, okay?
Okay.
You have, I guess now, an I Do barbecue. You have to have a rehearsal dinner.
The rehearsal dinner is to me, isn't that that's the wedding party gathering,
That's
right?
what I always thought it was.
Well, but not anymore, because now if you have out-of-town guests, if you're going by their rules, you have to invite the out-of-town guests to the rehearsal dinner.
Right.
So, but out-of-town guests who are in the wedding party aren't expected to attend the I Do barbecue,
I think the I Do barbecue is taking over the engagement party. I don't think you're having an I Do barbecue and you're having an engagement party. I think it's sort of one or the other.
Really?
Yeah.
But you would only invite.
An I Do barbecue is an engagement party.
Yeah, but you're only inviting the people that would be in your wedding party.
Yeah.
Oh no, I don't know if that's the case. I'm just saying that is also. I've been to parties where they only invite the bridal party.
Because let's say you have a big engagement party or your I Do barbecue, but you're only inviting some of the people that are there.
Invite people can be in the direct wedding party.
But let's say you have like 50 people there, but you're only inviting like 7 of them to be in your wedding party. That's kind of insulting to the other people that show up.
This is
really.
useless.
That's like saying you have to put every single friend in your bridal party. I think you know who's.
But if you're at a party and you're not part of the list there.
Yeah.
And you're just like, I'll just be waiting over here.
Yeah.
No.
Enjoy your being celebrated by the bride and groom, and I'll just stand over here and have my fruit.
No.
No, I don't think so.
So you have all these parties. What are the ones involved with having a baby? There's a shower.
The
right?
barber bris.
The barber bris.
But listen, like the I Do barbecue and the gender reveal, I think are kind of organized so that you don't have to bring a gift. You're not bringing a gift to. Do you know what I'm saying?
Gender reveal.
Yeah, like
Just hold on. Just to continue the excuse all morning long. If you missed the discussion earlier, me and Nick and Rodney didn't get into Philadelphia until after 1 a.m., or at least home until after 1 a.m. After flights were delayed all day yesterday. And then Kathy didn't get into like 3. So that's why. If you hear a few mistakes, that's probably the issue.
Normally it's just because I suck, but today it's because I'm tired.
Well, it could also be that you say it's St. Patrick's Day. You could have grabbed a shot or two.
That's right. Yeah,
And
the whiskey.
Hit it, Case.
Oh yeah, now you know.
So we're going like this. Yes.
Sorry.
Yes, since he mentioned St. Patrick's Day, Brent Porsche has a live broadcast today from 3 to 7. He will be at Dolan's Bar in Ridley Park, and he's also going to turn it into an MMBarbecue ticket raid. So
it's terrific.
Tickets every 15 minutes or so. We used to do live broadcast on St. Patrick's Day, but we had to pare it back because we kind of replaced it with spring training. And doing that because sometimes it falls right around this time as well. And plus, we have the opening of the Jersey Shore. That's too much party, folks. So we needed a little bit of a break. So now Brent's got you with the live broadcast today from, like I said, Dolan. So stop by there 3 to 7. Hang out and have a good time.
Have you noticed that it's sort of like usually like the weekend wise and stuff leading up that it's pared back a bit? St. Patrick's Day? Or am I misperceiving that?
No, I think there was definitely some Aaron Express going on.
But even
here.
down in like Tampa, there was I would have expected to have seen a little bit more because I know it's kind of all over the place, right?
I just don't think we're in it anymore. I mean, I think it still goes on. Marissa?
Yeah, the Aaron Express, Steve, is everywhere, including in Tampa. We saw it on Saturday and Sunday. Yeah. They dyed the river green. And then I think all of the Phillies fans are heading down today for that St. Patrick's Day game.
Right,
so I didn't see it as much on Friday.
So with it being St. Patrick's Day, we obviously wanted to acknowledge that. And I have a couple of interesting articles. Steve sent one over that is a list of everyday words in English that actually have origins in the Irish and Gaelic. So common English words that you had no idea that actually came from, that have that type of origin.
It's time you were made aware.
So I'll give you the first one on the list, the word bother. While the Oxford English Dictionary says the etymology of bother is unknown, the earliest usages are by Irish writers. In 1718, Irish actor and educator Thomas Sheridan used bother to mean, quote, to bewilder with noise or to confuse. That was in 1718.
All right.
First time the word bother. I don't know if he made it up or what.
That's no bother.
In 1745, Jonathan Swift used it to mean to annoy or worry.
So that's when it changed slightly in meaning.
Yeah, bewilder or confuse, and then to annoy and worry. So there's some tendrils there, I guess.
Yeah.
But about 100 years later, English writer Charles Dickens used bother as an interjection. And the quote was, "To this amorous address, Miss Brass briefly responded, bother."
Ah, that whore.
Yes. Oh, bother. Wasn't that Winnie the Pooh? Isn't that what he would say?
Would he say that?
Bother. Oh, bother. Yeah.
Was it him or was it a Eeyore?
Don't know.
I don't know.
I think, it's a good
don't know.
question. I'm pretty sure it's Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah. One of those characters. Tigger?
No, it was Eeyore.
It was Eeyore, really? Okay.
Oh,
nice
bother.
job, Nick.
God damn it. God damn it.
I had an Eeyore.
You can't put that in a child's book. Oh, God damn.
God damn it.
That's a little edgy for a sad donkey. He's a donkey, yes? A mule?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I believe so.
I had an Eeyore stuffed animal when I was a little kid, and you would button on his tail.
Yeah.
And I lost the tail, and it made me very sad.
Wait a minute. So,
Oh, yeah, the tail is one of the integral parts, the fact that it is sort of tacked on.
well, that was the thing I was going to ask. I think it was like a nail or something, right?
Button.
Yeah. But I mean, on Eeyore?
Yes.
It was nailed into his back as torture for a sexual incident.
I knew it was a button on the doll, but for some reason, he had it was a tack or a nail.
I assume that is because of Pin the Tail on the Donkey?
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, see that? Well,
who the hell knows?
I think it is like Pin the Tail on Donkey. God damn it.
Is this Winnie the Pooh? Does he say "oh bother" as well?
All right,
Oh.
hang on here. Okay,
there we go.
Were you enchanted by the Winnie the Pooh stuff as a kid?
Yeah.
I always found it adorable.
I loved him.
The voice of Pooh himself, the actor who did so much for Disney, and turned out, though, they found out he was actually quite productive in the snuff film industry.
No, he was not.
But he just had such I guess that's a kid's version of ASMR.
Yes.
Yeah.
But Kathy didn't like it
I know.
for whatever reason.
Because it was pleasant and reaffirmed humanity.
God damn it. I would love to see
It's
that.
wrong. You're taking the Lord's name in vain.
All right, here's another word with Irish or Gaelic origin, and that's the word hubbub.
Hubbub.
What's all the hubbub?
I will use hubbub fairly frequently.
Yeah, I'll use it.
Yeah, so hubbub.
So the word originated in the 16th century as the shouting of a war cry.
Hubbub!
Yeah.
Kerfuffle! Do you want to live forever, or do you want to have a kerfuffle?
A kerfuffle? Hubbub. So, according to the Oxford English Dictionary, as well as the confused noise of a crowd, the hubbub, it may come from an Irish expression like abub, which is an
To
interjection.
you, sir, I say abub. You need to be committed, you fool.
So, abub.
Abub? It's an abubub. The new sandwich shop. An abubub.
Oh, a sub above.
Yes, exactly.
Abub. That sounds like abub.
Yeah.
Who wrote the book of
Oh, see, I was going on.
Chapter 1 is abub.
Abub. What were you thinking? Bubble gum?
No, well, a little while ago. But when you started singing that, I thought I was thinking Blue Moon. Ba 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 ba.
God damn it. All right, well, anyhow, above.
It's an Irish song. You got me fighting the British.
All right, so above.
That's one of the dumber ones.
Which is
Let's just keep that in the backdrop.
An interjection expressing contempt or the ancient Irish war cry, a boo.
A boo.
Yes. Hubbub was also the name given by colonists in 1600s New England to a Native American gambling dice game that apparently involved much shouting and hubbub.
We've brought you spices and a boo.
Yep, hubba.
You can use that word whenever you want.
Hubba.
So, hubba hubba. I wonder if there's any relationship to hubba hubba, which one might yell if they're looking at someone attractive, right? Hubba hubba.
Hubba hubba. Yeah, and it doesn't say that here. All right, another word is trousers.
That kind of surprised me. The trousers is of Irish origin.
Yeah, the word trousers is an extension of trowse, which appeared in English in the 16th century, and it came in part from the Irish trius, Trius. Now, I don't know if that's how you pronounce it or not. Trouse, or it might be trouse. Trouse referred specifically to a snug piece of clothing for the backside and thighs that ran down the legs.
The crotch down where you touch it's always a little too tight. Let's see if you can't leave me about an inch from where the zipper ends round under my back to my bunghole.
Earliest usage of trouse.
So it was a snug piece of clothing for the backside and thighs that ran down the legs and was attached to stockings.
Huh.
And they began in the 17th century as a piece of ankle-length loose cloth before evolving into the two-legged duds that we know today.
So on the Scotch side, have you ever worn a kilt? Have you ever put on a kilt?
Never have.
Very comfortable.
Always been interested in wearing
Very
one.
comfortable.
Yeah?
Yeah. I haven't, and I bought one years ago. You'd be surprised.
What for?
Because I wanted to have
Okay,
one.
all right.
Scotch Irish, and I was into the heritage and the tartan and all that stuff.
Did you ever wear it to a formal event?
So I wore it like in college.
Yeah.
As kind of my thing, like a joke, like you with the cow thing, and occasionally you realize how few opportunities you actually have to wear a kilt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once you own one.
Once you own one.
Never wear that damn thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, I know some, formal events, it's considered the appropriate dress.
And yeah, James Bond wears one in On Her Majesty's Secret Service.
All right, another word that came from the Irish is the word puss.
Here, pussy, 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 pussy.
That's it.
Where can you be? Here, pussy, 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 pussy.
So puss in relationship to the vagina, correct?
No.
We need another word for vagina.
No, and it's not.
How about puss?
And it's not puss.
How about another riff on the Bubba Hubba thing?
It's not pussy, like the song you just played, Case. It's puss, and it's another word for your face.
Right. Why the sad puss?
Or your mouth.
Yeah.
More specifically.
Why the drippy puss?
The kisser. Why the droopy puss?
Why the droopy, saggy, over extended puss? Why the stretched puss?
So it comes from the Irish pus, P-U-S, meaning lip or mouth.
Huh.
And it can also refer to a sour look or pout. Your sourpuss.
Sourpuss, yes.
So that came from the Irish.
A little bit sour.
Another. Now that's a sourpuss.
Now that's a sourpuss, lassie.
Yeah.
You may want to do something. Eat more sugar.
David, come over here and try this.
I wonder where puss and pus got separated, because pus is P-U-S as well.
Right.
Yes. Yeah, I do not know.
I'm not going to look that one up because I hate looking at pus.
Another word.
Purse your pus.
Another word that came from the Irish is bog.
And the bog sounds like an Irish word.
Yeah, Irish or Gaelic. So this term is a piece of wet, spongy ground.
Right.
Comes from the Irish bogach, B-O-G-A-C-H, which is probably pronounced differently. Bog trotter was a derogatory name given to the wild Irish, those not under English rule, of the 17th century. So they would call them bog trotters.
Kind of like nomadic, like what you might call like a yokel. Or
somebody out running around the mud,
running around the
an
bog.
idiot.
You stupid jerk. Running around the bog all day with your wet pus.
And it was later extended to mean anyone of Irish descent. As a derogatory name that the English used. So, and then the only other word on this list, and we're going to move on to some names actually, is the word puck.
Yeah.
Okay, so the word puck entered English in the 1850s to mean a blow or punch or a strike.
So I wonder if it has any. So would that pertain to a hockey puck?
Similar, because
you're smacking and striking a puck?
It came from the Irish puck, which is a term used in hurling, which is a game similar to field hockey.
At what point did the Irish use it to refer to a cast member of the real world?
Oh, I don't know that they did, but I forgot. Yes, there was a guy named Puck. in the third season of Real World.
So did it come before the Shakespeare Puck?
That's true.
Well, it was 1850s because Puck was a character, right?
Yeah.
He was like a woodland sprite, something like
It's
that.
Summer Night's Dream, right?
Yeah.
Nick.
And Wayne Gretzky is in that story as well.
Can you see what year?
It would have been the 1500s.
Yeah, so that came well before. But I guess, so they're saying that this, it came from the Irish word puck, P-O-C, a term used in hurling, like I said. But by the 1880s, puck came to refer to the flat disc used in ice hockey.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Those are all, so that's an Irish sounding word. Bog.
Bog and puck. And
puss.
abub. So here are now, since we are here on St. Patrick's Day, Marissa found a list of Irish names.
I tend to like Irish names.
And how they are, these are the ones that are written, that are spelled very, to us, to a non, Gaelic speakers.
Right.
They don't look like they should be pronounced the way that they actually are. We'll start off easy.
Yeah.
And then we'll move to the more difficult ones.
Okay, because I know a lot of the difficult ones.
All right. So, then I want to hear your pronunciations, and we have examples of these. Write these down. Get a piece of paper, because I'm going to spell them out for you. It will be easier if you write it down.
That's right.
And see it in front of you. Nick, do you want some paper?
I got one.
Okay. So I have the
I'm
pronunciations.
just going to read yours. I don't have to write it down.
In front of me. So, and you guys know this one, Cillian.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's an actor that just won an Academy Award.
Murphy.
That is correct.
For Oppenheimer.
Yep. So it's Killian.
Right.
That is pronounced Killian, although.
You played Oppenheimer.
Killian, the thing you have to remember is there's no K in the traditional Irish alphabet. So when you see names, Irish names beginning with a C, it's always a hard C. So Killian, the Germanized version with a K used to be the dominant spelling in Ireland. This is according to this guy named, I can't even pronounce this guy's name, who wrote the book. Darach O'Sigada.
Oh, that's a tough one.
But in 2003, after Cillian Murphy's breakthrough 28 days later, the C spelling took over, and now people pretty much know that that's how you do it. All right, this one you guys know too. Saoirse.
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 With Saoirse Ronan, one of my favorite actors.
But the thing is, yes, so the pronunciation you played there is actually how it's traditionally pronounced. Saoirse or Saoirse. And they're saying that Ronan's twist on it is partly her accent that makes it sound Saoirse. But the more traditional way to pronounce it is Saoirse.
Saoirse.
Saoirse or even Saoirse.
Saoirse.
But not Saoirse the way she does it. But nonetheless, there you go. All right, write this one down. E-A-B-H-A.
Say it again, please.
E-A-B, as in boy, H-A.
Ebba?
Ebba. What do you think, Nick?
Eba?
And Casey, did you already see it?
No, I didn't. I'm looking over here. Eba.
All right, here's how you pronounce it.
Eva.
Oh, Ava.
Eva.
Almost like Eve in the Gaelic version.
Eva.
I love it.
But E-A-B-H-A is how you spell that.
So B-H becomes a V.
I guess so, yeah. A fada above a vowel, which is the little accent mark.
This is my fada.
Means that the vowel should be pronounced long. So A, even though it's an E, it's pronounced A.
Yeah, it's tough, man.
Which is what fada means in Irish. So whatever. Okay. Here's the next one. You guys will know this one too. And like I said, we're starting off easy. We'll get to harder. These are Irish names spelled S-I-O-B-H-A-N.
Oh, I know this.
Yeah. Because
Siobhan.
of Succession.
That's right.
Yeah, I met my first Siobhan freshman year of high school. I had never met anybody named Siobhan before, and this is how it was spelled.
Well, junior high for me, and she was a lovely Irish lass. And in fact, at one point, her mother became the nurse that took care of my mother in her final days when she was in hospice.
I did love, Nick, in Succession, that Sarah Snook's character, Siobhan, they just called her Shiv.
Yeah.
I thought that was a cool...
That is a cool name.
Shortening.
It's a prison weapon.
And it's also, yes, a Shiv is a knife, a homemade knife in prison. So I thought, and was kind of apropos for her as well.
Was she a toughie? Yeah.
They're all tough. But, yeah. All right, so here's one I do not know. It's spelled M-E-A...
N?
M as in Mary.
Okay.
M-E-A-D-H-B-H.
Wow.
Yeah.
Medivh?
All right. Casey says Medivh. What do you think, Nick?
M-E-A-D-H-B-H?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Medva?
And Steve?
Meva.
All right. Here's how you actually pronounce it.
Meave.
Maeve.
Oh, Maeve.
Maeve.
Wow.
Maeve
Okay.
is spelled M-E-A-D-H-B-H.
Because I've seen Maeve spelled M-A-I-V-E.
M-A-E-V-E is usually how I see it.
That is correct. But this is how it is traditionally spelled and pronounced.
Did you know? So I was watching a History Channel special on the Vikings, and the Vikings really had no written language. They which blows my mind. And I kept asking the question throughout it that they had. Historically speaking, everything we know about the Vikings is anecdotal from other people who encountered the culture. Yet they were some of the world's best shipbuilders. Their technology was pretty advanced for their time. They went on to conquer vast portions of Europe, but they really had no.
That's weird because, I mean, they have runes and markings.
Which I asked the same question.
I thought that was part of their language.
That seems like a language.
Interesting.
God damn it.
Thank you, Eeyore. The alarming gaggle of letters is one of Ireland's oldest girls' names and has more variants than it has consonants. It can be M-E-D-B, M-E-A-B-H, M-E-I-B-H, but here's the closest English spelling is M-A-E-V-E.
Okay.
And Maeve is how you pronounce that. All right, good luck.
He's a great character in the boys.
Good luck with this one.
All right.
T-A-D-H-G-H.
Oh, I know this one.
These are traditional. Well, hold on then.
Okay.
All right, these are traditional
This one, I'm in the weeds on this one.
Irish names. Steve, if you were to be pressed to give us a pronunciation.
That's Tadga.
All right, Casey.
I'm just going to say Tay.
Tay. All right, Nick, how do you pronounce it?
I think it's Tag.
All right, let me play this.
Tig.
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 Tig?
Yeah.
Tig.
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 Tag?
I've never heard that name before.
I had a friend growing up whose name, they pronounced it Tag, and I don't know if it's similar to this Tig, but he spelled it T-A-I-G-H.
So break it down. Break it down.
Break it down like Tag Lumber.
So if you're going through the different letters, so D-H becomes an I?
So here's the way it explains. It says the G is clearly heard in tag, but depending on the consonant around it, the G in GH might not be heard at all.
So it's kind of like a modifier.
Take Brana, B-R-O-N-A-G-H, or Una. For example, the presence of the H also assists the disappearing act done in the D in Orwan, which there's a D in that, and the M in Donal, D-O-M-H-N-A-L.
Oh, yeah, Donald Gleason.
So there are letters that disappear.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's probably just as confusing as some of our spellings
Absolutely.
are with silent letters and things like PH and so on.
We were, so my son has an opportunity to study abroad to start his college career, which is an interesting thing that happened over the weekend. And some of the options are Lisbon, Rome, Prague, and the Czech Republic. But two of them are Northern Ireland and Scotland. And, he's a little concerned about the language in the first countries that I named. But I was like, dude, if you go to Ireland or Scotland, it's very difficult. It's not American English that they speak there either. And all of these pronunciations and spellings, Preston, yes, it's English, and yes, you can read it, but it's still really challenging for a foreigner, especially if you're used to American English.
It's going to twist your melon, son.
All right, here's another one for you guys. These are traditional Irish names. F-I-A-D-H.
F-I-A-D-H.
One more time.
F-I-A-D-H.
I'm going to go with Fee.
It says this is the biggest Irish name of the 21st century.
Fade?
Okay. And what do you say, Nick?
Fig?
Let's use the recording. Here we go.
Fia.
Fia. Yeah.
Fia.
All wrong.
Yeah.
Fia.
Fia.
Fia?
I'm hearing a TH in there, Thea.
But it's written phonetically as FEE-A.
Okay.
Get that
Fia.
wax out your ears, boy.
Fia. My buddy Danny used to go, Fia. Just a noise he made, so.
He wasn't calling somebody's name.
No.
Okay.
It's a name I've not heard.
Here's another one. OISIN.
OISIN?
Yeah, OISIN.
Like in English, it looks like oisin.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? But that's not how you pronounce it.
I'm gonna go because all right. Now I'm looking at other names like Saoirse. It has that OA in, or
Okay.
the OI in there. So
All right.
I'm gonna go Osa.
Steve, you're close, but this is how you pronounce it.
Ocean.
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 Mm-hmm.
Yeah, almost
That's-
like ocean.
Yeah.
Ocean.
The Pacific Ocean. Do you want to go to the ocean? It's actually the Adam Sandler version.
It's a boy's name. So you have Ocean and Russian is the female counterpart of that name.
These are little gems.
Uh-huh.
Would any of these, besides, it'd be a nightmare for the kid who had to spell it or in school, but are any of these attractive names if you were naming a child? They're kind of interesting.
I mean, I've always thought Siobhan was cool.
Yes,
I think
yeah.
I think it sounds neat. It's got a really unique spelling. So I think that's the one I like most out of these. All right, there's two more left, and this has the most letters. All right, CAOILFHIONN.
One more time.
This is how the hell did they get this?
Okay.
I'm looking at the pronunciation. CAOILFHIONN.
I'm gonna go Colin.
Okay.
Phew. I'm going with Darren.
All right. And Nick?
Oh, man. Calpheon.
Calpheon. Casey, you're the closest.
Yeah.
This is it.
Keelan.
Keelan. Yeah.
So that is way too many letters.
I know.
Keelan.
So the FH is it says here, the FH is in the hardcore version of the unisex name.
Huh.
This goes into detail, which is even more confusing, which I'm not going to get to.
So my wife is Claire, the Irish way, which is CLARE. It's usually AIRE. But there are some variations that are like that. But that particular one that you just read off to us has about 9 additional letters that seem to make no impression on the way it's pronounced.
All right, one last one, and then we'll put this to bed. These are Irish traditional names and how they're spelled versus how they are pronounced. So PADRAIG.
I know this one.
Not Patrick.
I think I know this one.
Okay, how do you pronounce that?
Patrick.
Patrick. All right, Steve.
I was going to say Patrick.
Patrick.
I was going to say Patrick as well. We're all wrone.
Okay.
This is how you say it.
Porg.
That's not right.
Porrig. That's not.
They're wrong.
Johnny.
What? Porrig?
Pine cone.
Peter.
I used a pine cone joke a couple of times in Italy. Crushed it. Crushed it with
Are
the
you
kids.
serious?
Yeah.
You're still
I know
using
my
that.
audience.
You're
My
still
audience.
using that one.
Yeah.
What is it when you say Atlantic Ocean?
No, Pacific Ocean.
Pacific
If you
Ocean.
say it very fast, it sounds like pine cone.
You ready? Try it.
Pine cone. See?
And they love that in Italy?
The kids love it.
The kids
it works
love it.
every time.
All right, so
you need to leave.
So it kills it overseas.
You must go now.
Porrig. And that's why it says you should never call it St. Patty's Day. So it says the Irish version of the angelic name Patrick is Porrig.
But there's a golfer named Patrick Harrington.
Yeah.
Yes, there is.
And
that's why I thought it would be Patrick.
Yeah, that's how he spells it.
Yeah. But I guess maybe he gave in.
He's like, I'm tired.
I'm sick and tired of these people getting it
This
wrong.
is my father, Krusty Krab.
Some people have done that, like Jesse Owens. Do you know how he got his name? His name is not Jesse.
No.
It was something else. It stood for JC was the nickname he went by, and he had an Irish trainer who would call him Jesse.
Yeah.
JC.
Oh, no kidding.
And that's
JC,
where he
come
got
over
it.
here. And so he ended up just kind of changing his name or answering to Jesse.
Hey, Jesse.
There you go.
His real name was James Cleveland Owens, J.C. Owens.
Yeah.
And that's how he got the nickname.
Yeah, so JC, but it was from the Irish pronunciation, Jesse.
Well, then there was a mispronunciation because Hitler's name is Donnie.
Hey, Donnie.
Did you say Adolf?
Where did he get Adolf from?
Remember the Irish
The
lady?
name is Donnie.
Well, just because it bothers me, Donnie is my name. There you go. And now some more of that music.
Donnie.
On the road to victory.
Donnie Hitler. Wow. All right. Well, just kind of an interesting bit of information to digest along with your corned beef and cabbage today. Dude.
Do you...
What?
I forgot about this. This was last week. We're at the grocery store, and Michelle wants to get some stuff for St. Patrick's Day. And she bought...
Is she Irish?
What's that?
Is she Irish?
No. And she's like, I want to get a couple of things. What did she get? Instead of getting corned beef and cabbage, she got it was
Ham and
two
lettuce.
things. Yeah, Casey, it was something like that. It was ham and something.
And
Oh
sauerkraut?
no! You know what she said?
What?
She said, "Let's have bangers and mash." I go. You realize bangers and mash is British?
Yeah.
And
It's breakfast. Is it?
No,
what is
it's
it?
dinner, but
Okay.
but it's not. But she didn't even say anything about corned beef and cabbage. She said, "I'm going to get some bangers and mash for the kids." And I'm like, "That's like Irish people would crucify you for doing that." And she's like, it's blah blah blah." And I was like, "Okay, whatever you want to do, man. That's fine. I like bangers and mash."
Absolutely.
But corned beef and cabbage, I love corned beef.
Are you a corned beef and cabbage guy?
my
That's what I'm
goodness.
making tonight.
I don't eat it often, but I do dig me some, man.
So we, Scotch-Irish family, and so we would have it occasionally. I was never the biggest fan of it as a kid. I need to revisit it,
It's
see
good,
if it's worth
man.
a damn.
Yeah, and I'm gonna make some. Although I didn't leave myself enough time to make it in the slow cooker, which is how I think I prefer it.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure out a good way to make it. Looking up some recipes right now. I don't know, you got any tips for
Now,
me?
off the top of my head, I've only cooked it a couple times. It's incredibly easy.
Yeah.
And I've done it. I did it in the crock pot.
Okay.
But
about a deep fryer?
There are other ways to do it quicker than that if you don't have the 8 hours or whatever to let it sit around. So, all right. Well, anyhow, thought these were interesting little things passed along. Marissa, thank you for the info. Steve, thank you for the info.
No problem.
And a happy St. Patty's Day to all, which, by the way, Patty's Day is going to be celebrated with the one and only Brent Porsche, who will be at Dolan's Bar in Ridley Park. Live bands, traditional Irish food, drink specials at Delco's Greatest Irish Dive Bar. And on top of all that, Brenda's going to have MMRBQ tickets every single 15 minutes while he is there. So today from 3 to 7, make sure that you stop by there today. Raise a pint with the man. Have a great time. All right. We are going to take a quick break. We will come back in just a moment and get into some more stuff, so stay with us.
Like the barbecue, like come over for a barbecue, you don't quite know what it is, but whereas an engagement party is, if you show up without a gift, or at least for me, if I showed up without a gift, I would feel awkward.
All right, hang on. I just saw a text that came over. It said Connor Betts, he's an assistant producer here, went to an I Do Barbecue. I'd like to know if he brought a gift with him to the I Do Barbecue. Because, Kathy, I think I think you have to bring a gift to an I Do Barbecue.
I don't know. Here, Connor's.
All right, we need an
walking in right
explanation,
now.
clarification, in case I, by some stretch of the imagination, get invited to an I Do Barbecue. I want to know what to do.
Connor?
I did not bring a gift.
Okay.
Were you aware that it was an I Do Barbecue before you attended?
Yes.
Okay, so that and it's the premise of the I Do Barbecue when it was presented to you that you were coming because you were going to be asked to be a part of this wedding party?
Yes, and I was not a part of the wedding.
All right, did your girlfriend bring a gift?
No.
Okay.
So when you went...
Do you know what I'm saying? Like the gender reveal is to come. We're all finding out together what the baby is going to be. You're not going to bring a gift to that. The baby shower. Yes, that's the point of a baby shower. Your friends, your family, they're bringing gifts so that you can be prepared for when the baby comes.
Connor prefers to be called Moose.
Yeah.
What's that all about?
That's just a nickname from high school.
Oh, I did not know that.
High
Okay.
school into college, and everybody calls me.
Okay, gotcha. Well, I didn't know that. Nice to meet you, Moose.
So Moose, what was it like at the I Do barbecue?
Well, I didn't bring a gift, one, because they are wealthy and
Yes.
I am poor.
Right.
So I think my mom might have brought a gift, but I didn't.
And so who with the cluster that you attended, who was asked to be in the bridal party?
It was my friend's brother's engagement party, I guess. So then we were all friends with him, and it was a bunch of my friends, and then I was not asked.
Did they line you up?
I was back up.
Did they line you up in a row and then yes, no? Yes.
Yeah, it's like picking for kickball.
Right, right?
Yeah.
No. And then, Connor, you're there with the caterer standing there.
Yeah, it was me and the caterer and the dog.
Right, yeah.
was on the side.
These are the ones who will not be in our wedding party. Shame them.
Sorry, Moose.
Why don't you forget the moose for a moment?
But you didn't go to the party expecting to be asked to be in the bridal party, right?
No.
Not even a little bit?
No.
it's
With
not-
how
it's
good
not
you
every-
look in a gown?
You don't have every friend you know in your bridal party.
No, but I'm saying this seems oddly. It is like being picked for teams in school.
No.
And you're left out of it.
No.
It's like, why not break up into shirts and skins?
Well, I had never heard the term "I do barbecue" before, but apparently that's another one to add to the list with your gender reveals, your
Right.
sprinkles, your showers, your engagement
golden
parties,
showers.
your golden showers, the
I mean,
Butterscotch bandits,
and that's
Carl
overcomers.
Guys, you're combining things that
It's
don't.
disgusting.
It's not.
Yeah, Overcomer was a movie.
We're here
that
for the
opened.
hot Carl party.
What were you gonna say, guys?
I just don't make your wedding more special than it really is.
Yeah.
You know,
Or
like
do it since it's your wedding.
yeah.
Don't make it more special than it really is.
Because it might end up in a murder-suicide, you know?
Wow.
You're not special. This day isn't special.
It might end up in that should
They
go on
had
a
an I do
Hallmark card.
barbecue.
They had
and
an I.
now he's dead.
Congratulations. It might end up in a murder-suicide.
I'm Keith Morrison. It started with an I Do barbecue and ended with Where'd You Bury the Body?
I love it. Pierre is in the studio, about ready to take over for the day.
It's a miracle.
It is a miracle.
It is a
isn't it?
miracle.
Every day's a miracle.
Every day's a miracle. Rodney brought me coffee this morning.
Oh,
That's awesome.
Rodney's the man.
If Rodney isn't the greatest already, he, on his way in, found some wonderful coffee for me and brought it in.
I have a Superman statue that I'm going to give Rodney. There's one statue that has not ported over to my office. I said, if anybody around here deserves the Superman statue, it's Rodney.
I would agree.
Yeah.
You need more figurines and statues, though.
I have space now, and they will be coming. They are ordered and on their way. In fact, one should be arriving at the house today.
Yeah. Claire, God bless her.
She really is a saint.
She is a saint.
Yeah.
But I'm sure she said, no more in this house. Send them to the office.
Absolutely. Work it is.
Are there pictures of the assortment?
Oh, yeah, in the house. But there's still room in the house.
No, I mean up online, though.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, so that people can see how many Batman, Superman, other figurines you have.
Just go to our Instagram page.
Yeah. We posted yesterday. There's more on the way.
Yeah, so this is just beginning, but mostly featuring Batman and Iron Man.
Right. Okay.
Right now, I have to decorate properly.
Now, I understand.
Yeah.
I understand. It's a miracle.
There you go. There's a picture of it in the studio right now.
Oh, this is the new office.
Yeah,
too, right?
yeah.
Yep. We just moved in the other
So
day.
there's huge spaces where people would put books and tapes and various recording instruments, but Steve has used they're 5 feet high statues.
Yeah.
And
They're not 5 feet high.
All right, they're 4.5 feet high.
4.5 feet. Yeah.
And the Iron Man gets a giant Iron Man head.
That's a 1-to-1 scale Iron Man head.
Wow.
I'm so glad I listen. It looks good. You've organized it so nicely. I am proud of you. But I'm glad there's a buffer between me and you.
Oh yeah, that buffer is Nick.
It's Nick.
Yeah.
I've started to straighten up my area.
You have. It's
and
looking
my collections are coming
better.
too. So I have display area finally. So I'm
Nice.
going to put some of my
Swords.
stuff up.
Nice.
I don't know if I'm going to do the swords.
Really?
Yeah.
Why
we'll
we
see.
threw the swords out?
No, I have a couple of swords. There's one like the Philadelphia Pipe and Drums brought us this really cool. It's engraved and
awesome.
everything. So that's for the show. I need to find somewhere for that. But I have other collections that I'm going to bring and display.
Are we
Look
going
up
to do that
top,
thing that we were talking about? That one idea where we were floating
We got to
around?
do that. Yeah, we'll hopefully get to that soon.
Okay.
That's an idea, and we'll get to it.
Yeah. We're not going to reveal what it is.
We're going to put a chopping board in the middle of the room and hang our pots and pans from the ceiling.
No, that's Kathy's sections, along with the doilies and the Martha Stewart tribute area.
You know what? I've always wanted that. I've never had a setup where I can hang my pots and pans from like a ceiling setup.
I like that look. My wife doesn't like it, so we didn't get it.
Here's why I do like it. It looks great. But you can't use the pots because once there's a stain and you hang it up, now it looks ridiculous.
Shut up.
I'm just saying that's when it doesn't look
Once there's a
good.
stain,
That's why
that shows that that's a working kitchen.
Which is
There
fine.
would
but
never
then
be a stain if it was me because they'd never be used.
me neither.
It would
That's
look
why I
lovely.
always wanted it.
It would work in your house.
Yeah.
See, that's why we should live together.
That's why we are married but stay apart.
Right. Forever.
I mean, you can't have sex all the time.
Well, exactly.
No, it's the perfect marriage. We don't live together and we don't have to have sex.
Yeah, you just love each other and then leave it at that.
We just love each other, and that's all
Kathy,
there is to it.
had she not met Dennis, she would have been married to a prisoner.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It'd be the perfect thing. What are you in for murder? Love it.
Right each other.
Yeah.
I didn't give away whatever it was I had yesterday.
You didn't?
So whatever that is.
It was a turkey.
It was a turkey.
We'll give it away today.
It was and pounds of steak.
And
so,
pounds of steak.
Yeah, not just a pound, several pounds of steak.
I would like 7 pounds of steak.
7 pounds of steak. You got it, Buster. Step right up to Pierre's Butcher Shop. I got all the blood you need.
You should get for Halloween one year. You should go as a butcher, like with blood splattered, apron and everything. That'd be perfect.
A vegetarian butcher with all the zucchinis hanging from the
Yes, and mangled tofu hanging from my locks.
mangled tofu hanging from your locks.
Mangled tofu would be like dreadlocks, but tofu locks.
Yeah,
I like it.
All right,
Actually, I
we're cooking
don't,
with gas
but anyway.
now, mustard.
Oh my God.
Please welcome the one and only Mr. John Travolta to our studio. Good morning, John.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing wonderful. Nice to see you.
You sound good.
Thank you. I feel good. I feel very good. You know what? As I was introducing you, and I said, "Welcome to Philadelphia." You shot a film here in Philadelphia.
I did. I shot Blowout.
Yeah,
which is a Brian De Palma great movie.
Yeah, thank you. I agree.
So this movie, we want to talk about The Fanatic, which is I started watching it, I wanted to go into it cold, and it's a big departure for the kind of roles that you play. Mm-hmm. It's a horror suspense, but it also takes a peek inside the world of TMZ and fandom run Fanatical. And your character is very unique. And from what I understand, the character was written with you in mind. Is that correct?
Yeah, it was. Fred Durst from the Limp Bizkit.
Yeah.
He wrote it, and he directed it. And I will say that he is quite inspired as a director and as an actor even.
Right.
And he helped quite a bit. He would improvise with me prior to the takes, and he designed this character, and I understood it because I am a fan. I'm a fan as much as we all are. And I think if you don't understand that, whether it's sports or whether it's the arts or icons or whomever you admire, you can't do this kind of role.
It's funny because John, because I collect things. I have I'm a massive movie fan. I'm a huge fan of yours as well. And there's something that, and it's your character exemplifies in the movies. Well, just to be able to get the tactile sensation of touching something that a celebrity or there's this bizarre thing. I remember it's odd, as I was watching the movie, I was thinking the story that Gene Siskel of Siskel and Ebert, it was very important for him to own the white suit that you wore on Saturday night.
Correct.
And he owned that. It was a holy grail for him.
Yes,
so
and then Jane Fonda bought it.
Right. So
you're completely correct. But this particular guy, this character I play, is he's a man-child. He is maybe a little bit on the spectrum, which explains his irrational behavior. However, that being said, he's picked on and bullied at work, and everyone bullies him, but he's so used to it that he handles it. But when his favorite person in the world bullies him, this movie star, he doesn't know how to handle it. He gets confused. And when he gets confused, he does really odd things. And you'll see in the film that he goes over the line, but so does the movie star.
Yeah, and
the movie star goes over the line equally as well, by torturing.
And his inability to pick up on social cues, it takes it down a path where it's like, oh no.
Correct.
And I got to tell you, John, the entire time while watching this movie, I don't think there was a moment where something on my body wasn't clenched. Whether it was my hands or my mouth or even my butt cheeks. I mean, I was just like, it was tense.
Well, because
the
it's
whole thing.
Nothing times up. The point when you finally get to have this moment with Hunter Dunbar's his name is the character. He has a bad experience, and you just happen to come upon him at that time, and it never syncs up right. So that starts.
That's correct. It's also a movie about bad timing.
Yeah, and then some.
Because if he had just been in the right mood and had his autograph, he would have been over.
Yeah.
But of course, then we wouldn't have had a movie.
Yes.
But what I thought was brilliant was that I loved that your character before all that started to happen. So you I almost felt bad, and I was like, well, it's not that bad that he's doing some of these things, But then it progresses into the movie. But you really made me love that character before you found out the other stuff.
Yeah, thanks. I wanted him to be loved because I feel like everyone is a little bit of the character Moose. We all have a little Moose in us. It's just how far do we take it? And if we didn't have Moose in us, how would we be, ourselves to create an effect on others?
Yeah, I might be in your plane later.
Well, Hunter Devon Sawa, is that the actor who's playing Hunter?
Correct.
Yeah. So again, nobody's all that awesome in this. Everyone's got, even his friends or quote unquote friends are not that good as far as friends. And I like that because that's sort of real. But I like also the peek into the side of the people who are out on the street.
All right, thank you very much, Nick. Short follow-up. A couple of people that texted and said bangers and mash is perfectly acceptable for St. Patrick's Day.
Okay.
I may have been busting my wife's balls for no reason whatsoever.
Man, you're gonna catch hell when you get home.
I know. Hey, listen, throw it on the pile. Why not? just go right ahead. I've had a couple of days, and now I'm ready for more. Why not? Actually, you know what I think we need to do? We haven't done this in a little while, but I think we got to pass along some stuff via Totally Presbo this morning. Yes.
Totally Presbo.
Hi, Presbo.
Hi, Getty. All right, we'll start with this one. The list has come out, and this is courtesy of the National Park Service. New data. There was a record high 331.8 million visitors last year at national parks. And I have a list of the most and least popular national parks in the country. So the high amount of visitors, like I said, 331.8 million visitors, that is almost 1 million more than the previous high, which was set back in 2016.
2016 was the previous high.
Yeah, 330.9 million, and now 331.9 million. So that's a substantial jump forward.
I would assume the low attendance would have occurred sometime during COVID.
I would think so. Yeah. Well, some parks were closed. Yeah,
they were.
You're right.
Yeah. But people also used the parks that were open as an excuse to do anything and go outside. So there were you couldn't travel in some respects, or travel was more difficult during 2020 and 2021. But people liked getting outside.
So these numbers cover the entire national park system. That includes everything from the national rivers to national monuments. But there are only 63 that have national park in their name. Some parks are more popular than others, and 28 set records for the most visitors of 2024.
Are we? If we assume the likely candidate, would we be right? Is the word I'm trying to say?
Maybe not. Okay. I don't know. What would you going with your gut though? What would you think would be the top one? Yellowstone. Anybody else want to guess?
I go Grand Canyon.
All right. I know the answer is Great Smoky Mountains.
Nick is correct. The Great Smoky Mountains National Park in North Carolina and Tennessee had well out in front of all the other ones. 12.1 million visits. Number 2 was Zion National Park. And that's 4.9 million. So
pretty good.
More than double went to the Great Smoky Mountains. Now, is it the sheer size of the Great Smoky Mountains Park, Nick?
Size and ease of access. So they're both relatively easy to get to. Zion's not that far from Las Vegas, and so you can fly into Vegas and be there within a few hours. And then Great Smoky Mountains is one of the biggest in the eastern part of the United States, but it's also relatively easy to get to from North Carolina, from populated areas.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess that makes it. Yeah, it's not so easy for Yellowstone.
Number 3, Grand Canyon National Park in Arizona.
And then you got to go with all the other ones around there, right? Like Bryce and Arches and stuff.
What do you mean?
Well,
that they'll be on this list
that are geographically friendly to the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, so
You get the spillover.
Zion, Grand Canyon, Bryce, Arches, they're all within, they're all kind of in the same area.
They are, but they're not in this top 10.
Okay.
Yeah, so what the hell happened?
So Grand Canyon is 3, followed by Yellowstone at number 4. Then you have Rocky Mountain National Park. And it's number 5.
My impression another.
It's also easy to get to.
Hey!
What is Rocky Mountain?
Rocky Mountain's not that far from Denver, so major international airport, easy drive.
Yeah, Steve, you talk about getting into to Yellowstone. Like there are a couple different ways you can get there, but I mean, like I had to fly into Billings, Montana to go into the north end of it. But you can also fly into Jackson Hole and drive up from the south side, or but it's not. There's nothing like right there.
Right. It's not a major conduit.
Yeah.
But Yellowstone and Glacier and Grand Teton are all relatively close to each other, correct?
No, Glacier's pretty far north. Glacier's on the border of Canada, and that also takes a lot of effort to get to. There's no major airport nearby. You can fly to Kalispell, which is kind of close.
What are the three that are like kind of all...
Tetons and Yellowstone are right next to each other.
Yeah. All right, then you have Yosemite at number 6. Amazing place.
Yes.
Number 7, Acadia National Park, which I went to a few years ago and loved it.
I spent a week there with my family. I actually flew over it, which is, when you're talking about international flights, you can kind of see where you're going.
That's cool.
Yeah, so I saw on the little screen in front of me that we were going over, and I looked over, and sure enough, I'm like, oh, I can see this from the sky. It was awesome.
Yeah, there's some pretty amazing features there. It's definitely one of those places that you want to ooh and ah at. Number 8 is Olympic National Park in Washington. Number 9 is Grand Teton National Park in Wyoming. Stunning. And number 10, Glacier National Park in Montana. Nick, have you been to Glacier?
I have.
Okay.
I think I've been to all the ones that you listed here, except for Great Smoky Mountains. I've not been to that one yet. The most populated one, yeah.
Wow.
I'm curious as to which ones bring in the most international visitors, because some of them are just world renowned, like Yellowstone. You can mention Steve, and that Grand Canyon. You get a lot of international visitors.
Maybe Grand Canyon, because it's such a
iconic.
Yeah. And that's where, of course, they went to in vacation. So Europeans tend to love that movie.
Right. Also, Brady Bunch.
Bunch.
All right.
And we shall put our beans into our flashlights as well.
All right. So I want to see which ones of these you have been to, Nick. These are the 10 least visited national parks.
Okay.
In 2024.
How many of them are in Alaska?
So that's a good question. There's one,
pile,
two, three that are in Alaska. Okay. So number 10 is Voyageurs National Park. That's in Minnesota.
Yeah, it's northern Minnesota. I've not been there yet.
Great Basin National Park in Nevada.
It is northeastern Nevada. I haven't been there either. It's hard to get to.
Dry Tortugas National Park.
I love Dry
Tortugas.
Yes.
I've been there twice. You have to arrange for it ahead of time. You can either take a ferry, you can actually take a seaplane, so you have to leave out of Key West. But it's this old fort, and surrounding the fort are there's places where you can snorkel. You can also camp there.
I don't care how you get here. Get here if you can.
The next
Wait a minute. Olita Adams. Yes, thank you. I'm sorry, Nick, you were saying?
I have no idea what that reference was.
It's a singer.
How you get here, just get here if you can.
Olita
It's a great
Adams.
song.
I want to camp there. You can stay there they'll drop you off and come back and get you a few days later.
It's an island?
It's an old fort in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico, and so you have to get to Key West and then go west of Key West. It's another hour and a half, and it was a strategic position in between New Orleans and the Florida Keys and Cuba, and so that's why the fort exists there in the first place. But it's a really cool spot and well worth it. There are 3 national parks in southern Florida: Everglades, Biscayne Bay, which is mostly underwater, a lot of scuba and snorkeling there too, and then this Dry Tortugas in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico.
This looks like a day visit.
It does.
Yeah, you're not spending a week there.
There's no hotels, so it's either a day visit or a camp.
Okay. So then we have number 7 on this list of the least visited national parks in the U.S., Wrangell St. Elias National Park.
Which is the largest of all the national parks. I think it's actually the largest in the world. It's bigger than Switzerland. It's massive. I've not been there.
Why does nobody go?
It's in Alaska.
It's in Alaska.
Oh, well, there you go.
It's far to get to. And Steve, it's one of those ones where Even if you get there, nobody explores the interior of it because of how damn big it is.
Wow. All right, then you have Katmai National Park. I've heard of that.
Also
I like
Alaska.
same thing, very remote, right?
Yeah, also Alaska. Yep.
Yep. You like cats?
I like cats.
Cat
Can you
mine.
recommend a park? Can you recommend a park? Well, there's Katmai.
Every time they do National Bear Week, that's always in Katmai.
Oh, that's right.
Sign me up. And I'm a bear.
Number 5 is Isle Royale National Park in Michigan.
Yeah, so you got to take a
It's
ferry.
a strip club.
Isle Royale is a strip club. I can see that.
You have to take a ferry to get there.
Okay. Number 4 is Lake Clark National Park and Reserve in Alaska.
In Alaska, yep.
Then you have another one, Kobuk Valley National Park in Alaska. Then number 2 of the least visited parks, North Cascades National Park in Washington.
That's where I had my fall.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I wonder if the Juneau ice fields, are they part of a national park? Because that is a sprawling.
The Juneau ice fields?
Yeah, that's when you go to Alaska. A lot of people will you're talking about remote locations to get to, Nick. You routinely helicopter up to the glaciers, and that's where you're seeing the crevasses and these kinds of things.
Nick just pulled it up. It doesn't mention off of the top that it's a park.
Huh.
It's contained within the Tongass National Forest, but not in a national park.
Okay.
Right.
But yeah, North Cascades is a few hours north and east of Seattle. So Seattle's surrounded by North Cascades National Park, Rainier, and Olympic. And so you can get to all three if you go to Seattle. But North Cascades is a bit of further away. It's on the border of Canada. And we crossed over into the park from the place where we were staying, and then I was actually on the other side of the park in the National Forest area where I had my my really bad fall a few years ago.
All right, and then the least visited of all the national parks is Gates of the Arctic National Park and Preserve, also in Alaska.
So the cool thing about Gates of the Arctic is the only way that you can get there is by plane, and then they drop you off, and then they come back and they get you a week later. So they drop you off on a Saturday.
You got to be serious.
Yeah, and you have to bring in your gear, and there are quote unquote places to stay there, which is a few like rustic cabins, but mostly people camp.
Hey, you can live with me for a while.
No, jeez.
I don't care if it's female or male. I'm gonna touch it.
All right, so if you have the goal of hitting all the national parks in your lifetime, you may want to check out those least visited ones and get them off the list.
Sure, or at least end your life.
All right, here's another story.
Totally Presbo.
So this was, I meant to get this last week, but the weekend prior, at the South by Southwest Festival, Disney gave fans a peek at some exciting new rides coming to Disney World. That are inspired by beloved movies, as you would imagine.
The Dolores Claiborne?
No, there's no Dolores Claiborne
No.
ride.
That would be weird.
You push your spouse into a well.
Right.
No.
I did it.
At Magic Kingdom, there's going to be a new Cars attraction that will let riders race off-road, dodging geysers, and climbing mountains.
I'm surprised that they
Don't they have one already?
Well, it's called Test Drive or Test Track.
Yeah.
They could have and probably should have turned that into a Cars ride.
But this is going to be at Magic Kingdom. The test track was at Epcot, and it sucked. Casey and I went.
Is this an actual
such a waste of time?
free driving, or are you on a track?
Don't know. They do not know. They just
Stop
didn't
being
answer.
pussies and make it free riding.
All right, and Hollywood Studios will soon be getting an attraction update and a new ride, a new Mando and Grogu adventure. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Yeah.
Is coming to Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run in May of 2026. That will coincide with the theatrical release of The Mandalorian and Grogu movie.
They're trying to claw back some of the excitement over the misstep that was the $5,000 a night hotel experience that didn't quite pan out.
There's also a Monsters, Inc. roller coaster, and it says the first ever suspended coaster at Disney. So one of those, like the Batman ride. And
They're not as ride intensive as is Universal, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you know there's a running gag
thrill ride.
with everything that's ever been associated with Monsters, Inc.? I think that movie came out in like 2003 or something like that. And anytime they have a label of Monsters, Inc., you'll see John Goodman's character, the big furry one.
Sully,
right.
Yeah.
But you won't see Mike Wazowski because in they block him out. And when he was like, he's I can't believe I'm on TV.
Yes.
And the first one. So if you ever see a DVD or a poster or any of it, every single time there's something on the label that blocks Mike out.
That's great.
And it's just a running gag on everything that they ever produced for Monsters Inc. and the Monsters University that came out a few years ago. So I'm wondering, Preston, if on this this ride, if they will do that to honor the gag with Mike Wazowski.
That's great.
I'll tell you what has me very excited. I saw someone do the initial reviews of the worlds that have been added to Universal are out now.
Oh.
You know, the people who are the people they want to come in.
Yeah.
Now, you also have to realize a lot of these people are going to be influencers and they want to really curry favor with them. But the general consensus is, Preston, that this is an amazing new, the embellishments to Universal and like Dark World, which is the Frankenstein, Wolfman, all that stuff is supposed to be incredible.
Well, now what they can do with 3D and all that stuff, it's pretty amazing.
The animatronics are people are certain they're actors. They're not.
Wow. All right, so this is what Disney's got coming up, so keep an eye out for that.
Listen, we should make a plan to get back to Universal now.
Yes.
See if we can. Disney hates us. Or doesn't hate us, but I mean.
They're cool with us.
Are they?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm just saying that. I'm speaking it into existence.
All right, here's another story.
Totally Presbo.
So, Camp Bow Wow, a dog daycare and boarding provider, has just come out with a list of the most popular puppy names for the first time ever. Sit, Ubu. They analyzed their database of canine customers, looking specifically at the names of those ages 4 months to a year. So, the new names. The top 10 most popular puppy names in 2024. I will start with number 10.
Yes, number 10.
Number 10 is Winnie.
Oh.
Number 9.
Oh, well, it's like Winnie the Pooh, and we were just talking about Winnie the Pooh, and God damn it.
God damn it.
Number 9 is Teddy.
Teddy.
My brother's dog's name is Teddy.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Small world.
And he looks like a teddy bear.
All right, how long ago did he get him?
About a year ago, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
the
it's
beginning of the segment.
One of the newer hot names. Number 8 is Bella.
Bella.
My friend has a dog named Bella.
I've heard of that.
All right.
Many times.
Is that still Twilight?
I don't know if that's the full-on
I think one of the dogs in 101 Dalmatians was Bella or Isabella.
Okay.
And because my in-laws or former in-laws had a Dalmatian, and they named her Bella.
All right.
Number 7 is Penny.
Penny.
Yep. Number 6 is Lucy.
Mm-hmm.
Number 5, and I've heard this one for a dog many times, Cooper.
Cooper is a popular name.
Mm-hmm. Number 4, Milo.
Milo, as in Milo and Stitch.
No,
Otis
Lilo
and Milo.
Stitch. No, yeah.
Milo and
Otis.
Otis.
Yeah.
Oh,
Milo and Otis.
That's it,
what I
yeah.
was
What is that,
thinking.
Nick? How does that go?
My Little Scrotum.
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
The movie Milo and Otis exists, but that's not what my brother and I called it. We called it My Little Scrotum.
My little
Right. So there's Lilo and Stitch. And
Lilo and Stitch and Milo.
And Milo and Otis.
Milo and Otis and My Little Scrotum.
It was Milo and Otis was a live action animal movie, was it not?
Yeah, it was a cat and a dog.
Right, yes.
Those were cute.
They were
Those
cute.
were super cute. Yep.
Good actors.
Number 3, that Barney Rubble.
What
an
an
actor. That's from an old movie.
It's from Night Shift.
Night Shift, yeah. Number 3 is Charlie. I've seen many dogs.
It's a cute name.
Named Charlie.
Who is Charlie?
Is that your dog? Is your dog named Charlie?
You got a dog?
You got a dog named Charlie?
Is a dog named
Who's
Charlie?
named Charlie? Who's Charlie? Does he fetch?
Who is Charlie? Where is he?
Does he roll over?
Is this Charlie?
Come here, Charlie.
Does he play dead?
Why are you asking me all
Why?
these questions?
Why are you so
What?
intense?
Yeah.
I like dogs.
Number 2, when I was a kid, we had a dog with this name, Daisy.
Aww.
Yeah.
I had a dog named.
My nutsack.
Well, I mean, it was technically my parents' dog, but I did live at
Steve,
home.
what do you call your balls?
Not Daisy.
my balls are Daisy.
My nutsack's named Daisy.
So anyway, you were saying?
Nah, we had a Daisy, that's all.
Yeah, we had a Cocker Spaniel, female, adorable.
Daisy's
Just
a perfect name.
Prettiest dog. Yeah, I think my sister named her Daisy, but I missed that dog. And number one, the most popular puppy name 2025 so far is Luna.
I knew
Luna's a very popular dog name. You know, I wonder if Marley and me put a dent in dogs being named Marley.
Because the dog dies?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a good question.
How many Old Yellers are there? You know?
Right?
What was Old Yeller's name? Was it Yeller?
Yeah, it was because he was yellow.
He was Yeller.
And they were Hicks.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so the dog was Yeller.
Old Mauve was the original title, but it seemed too artsy.
Yeah.
Old Chartreuse.
So it's no coincidence the top puppy names are 2 syllables. Short 2-syllable names help get a pup's attention when training and socializing. And when deciding what to name your puppy, they recommend keeping it short and distinct. Simple names with 2 syllables are easy for dogs to recognize. Also, I never thought of this. Avoid names that sound like commands.
Yes.
Okay.
So if you name a dog Kit, they might confuse it with sit. And then
Or they might take a dump.
And think about longevity. You want the name to suit the dog when they grow up, too.
When I was growing up, my neighbors had a dog named Heidi, and we used to call her Heiny. And because she would answer to it, and he would get so mad. He's like, don't call her Heiny. But, you know, we're kids.
But it sounded like it.
Yeah, I was 23.
All right, let's see. I got some other things.
Totally Presbo.
Saw this article. A woman named Janet Novella has walked for exercise her whole life, but about 10 years ago, she added a new element to her jaunts, and that is walking backwards. And apparently, it's highly recommended for
In
exercise
traffic.
routines.
Yeah, I see
Not
a lot
in traffic.
No, I see people doing it on the treadmill backwards and up a slope.
Yeah, on an incline. Do you ever see people doing it in public?
Yeah.
Walking backwards.
Oh, in public, not on the treadmill.
I'm sorry. Yes, I mean,
You've seen people walking backwards in public?
Not in the gym. No, I have not. I'm
Yeah, to
curious
me,
if
that
you
seems-
guys have ever seen.
No, I've told you this though. The having done a fair amount of hiking in my life and going up and down, hills and inclines and so on and so forth. Like when we did, we were in Switzerland and we hiked this trail up the side of a mountain, not all the way up. It was the coming down that was it was actually the harder part.
Right.
Believe it or not, which runs contrary to what you'd think. So working in that other way could make sense, though I wasn't going down backwards.
So she said, every time I walk, I just do a little twirl and I walk backwards for a bit, and I'll do it a few times during my walk. So she's not doing the whole walk in reverse, but as she's walking, she will every now and then flip around and, do a few, I don't know how many yards.
Will she do that when she's driving as well?
Maybe. It doesn't indicate in this article, but she was on
see that.
normal forward-moving walk one day when her foot caught in a pothole and she fell. She wasn't hurt, but she felt humiliated when she later heard that backwards walking can help with balance. That she started adding it to her routine, and she found that she liked the challenge quite a bit. She said improving balance is important because she wants to avoid falling. And videos and tutorials about walking backwards have been popping up on social media lately. Biomechanist Janet Dufek says that she's been studying this form of exercise for about 20 years. Back in the 1980s, she was involved in the development of what became. She was actually one of the people that helped develop the elliptical trainer. And was instrumental in the exercise machine having both forward and reverse motion. So it was her idea to make sure that you could do it forwards and backwards.
That's your aerobic exercise of choice, is it not?
I get on the elliptical every day, and I never do it backwards. But I am going to give it a try now. And I know that you can. All
Would you
have to
do
is
it blindfolded?
I could. I'm not going anywhere.
Rochelle comes down. What is that about?
But I love to watch TV. So.
Oh, yeah.
Duvek said that she and her fellow researchers were convinced that backwards motion had added benefits for strengthening muscles that normal forward motion don't. And her subsequent research into walking backwards has shown that there's less impact on the joints used by the different muscles, and it can increase flexibility and even help alleviate back pain.
Have you seen the treadmills that are designed for full bore running? That are basically just a
yeah, they're like an arc, an upside down arc,
upside down arc. Where the whole idea is to be at a full clip. I mean, and they go right up to speed quickly,
dude. I would kill myself on that thing.
I would launch off into the next room.
That's why I don't even run on a treadmill. Or jog, I should say.
So I'm doing about 4.6, 4.8 miles an hour when I'm on a treadmill at about a 1.52 incline.
Yeah, so I do the full incline at about like a 20-minute pace. You know? And I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I do 40 minutes.
So her work is also
and I knit.
Focused on older adults and found that incorporating backward walking into a regular exercise routine can, in fact, enhance static balance. It's extremely important to help older adults avoid fall, of course, obviously, because that can be bad. Backwards motion can also be a part of a high-performance workout.
Did you ever see that Bob Eubanks commercial? He sells this thing that's kind of like, it looks like skis, but it's for older people to maintain their core balance.
No.
And it sort of rocks around.
Is this new?
It's been out for a couple of years.
Okay.
Actually, it's more like a platform, I should say, but you kind of put your feet on it, and it has a bit of a semi-ball underneath it. Which is what they call me in school now. But and so the idea is you're working your core to stop, because you know very well, you hit a certain age and falls can be lethal.
Yeah, totally. So, no, I've never heard of that before. That's interesting. So they recommend if you are going to start walking backwards,
know where you're going.
It involves some risk, particularly around tripping and falling. If you can't see where you're going, people are often hesitant, but they quickly gain trust and confidence when they try this out. The trick is to start very slow.
And don't do it along the sides of canyons.
They said perhaps a half mile per hour on a treadmill, holding the handrail, and gradually increasing the speed to match your comfort level. If you don't have access to a gym or equipment, a flat outdoor path is fine, ideally with a handrail. Walking with a partner who can watch for obstacles helps, but even short backwards walks of just 20 seconds is a good way to start.
Do you think you could walk back? Could you walk back to back with someone? That'd be hard to sync up.
All right. So one person's walking forwards, the other one's walking backwards.
Exactly.
Yeah, that could be fun.
You want to try it right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
See if you could do it.
All right,
It'd be
are you
hard to
going forward,
synchronize, right?
If you're going that way, I'll walk backwards.
Okay.
All right.
Wait, so are you going backwards? All right, so we're going to go.
Where are we going to go?
Do it over here.
Yeah, but where do you want to go to?
Bryn Mawr.
Yeah. Bryn Mawr, good with you? All right.
We're going to walk over by Nick?
Yeah.
Over by Nick. All right, so we're going to start with this. Like,
All right, ready? Okay, go.
Come on.
Well, see, I have to kind of lean on
You
it.
should have gone, lock your
hands.
hands.
All right,
Yeah.
let's count.
Yes.
Count it out. So, are you ready? All right, so we'll just go. This will be one.
Yeah.
That'll be two. You ready? And 1, 2, 1, 2.
Yeah.
1, 2.
I'm stepping on his feet.
2. 1, 2. 1, 2. All right. All right.
You feel the.
Now we're going forward.
All right, ready?
Back to the same place.
Ready?
We're going to start with this foot.
Okay.
All right.
Do you feel the burn?
And ready, go. 1, 2. I feel the burn.
1, 2. 1, 2. We're doing it.
Yeah.
We're doing it, aren't
We just invented a new
I
workout.
only stepped on you a little bit.
Yeah, I
Pretty
stepped
good.
on you a lot.
Yeah, well, your legs are longer.
Sorry
so.
about that, man.
Buddy walking.
Yeah.
Like that.
What are you guys doing?
Buddy walking.
Buddy walking.
Latest sensation. You're walking with your buddy.
Hey, guys, what are you doing?
Hey, we're buddy walking.
We're buddy walking.
Really? You look like morons. Yeah, but it's a total body workout.
You know, what's the Beastie Boys song, Body Moving?
Body
Buddy
moving.
walk in. Buddy walk in. Ding, in a minute, talk
And you
in.
don't need any
Buddy
special
walk in.
equipment. Just no self-respect.
All your dignity gone away.
You just have no sense of personal dignity.
Buddy walk in. Buddy walk in.
I don't know the rest of the words.
Talking. We do talking. Would rhyme with walking.
Walking. And if we're doing some woodwork, sometimes there's some caulking.
You know your crush groove in. Rhymes with body moving. So, all right. Anyway, so now we have a theme song and we have
And a new total
an
body
event.
workout like Slam Man.
And a total body workout. All right, let's do one more.
Totally Presbo.
Oh man, I don't know what to do here. All right, well, I'll end with a cute one. Okay, all right, cute story. This
one.
This happened while we were gone. Wild Safari at Six Flags Great Adventure is welcoming an adorably tall baby to its giraffe herd. Coral, the female giraffe. Coral.
Carl! Carl! Good to see you!
No, it's Coral, Coral. The female giraffe calf was born to parents Mariah and Conan, both residents of the Jackson Township attraction, on December 15th. So they are just now ready to debut her. Now nearly 3 months old. She's getting ready to join the rest of the giraffe herd in time for Six Flags Great Adventures opening day, which will be on March 29th.
How tall is she at 3 months?
That's a good question, Steve. I saw a picture, and it does not say in this article, but there was a trainer that was feeding her and had to reach up.
There you go.
So I would imagine at least 6 feet tall,
right?
Maybe 7 feet tall, something like that.
I think they're magnificent.
They
animals.
are amazing animals, aren't they?
I know. They can if you do them dirty, they can kill you.
Sure.
But they are, for the most part, they seem to me very, relaxed, gentle, docile,
So
stupid.
we're looking at the baby here, and the little antennas that they have on top of their head.
That's for cable reception.
They're hairy. I don't recall seeing hairy antennas on a adult giraffe.
Maybe as they grow older, their I assume their antlers.
That improves their reception.
Their rantlers probably lose their hair.
What are those nubs for, by the way?
So cute.
Rantlers.
I don't know.
They're adorable. I like how they all look like they're wearing mascara.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. They have big. They have nice big eyelashes.
Yeah.
And everything. We're looking at the video. Adorable animal. And have you ever seen them fight though?
Yes,
They use their
slap
necks.
their heads into it.
Crazy, man. So
when they mate, however, they intertwine their necks.
do they
are
really?
not
Yeah.
horns. They are not antlers. They are different. They are called ossicones.
Ossicones.
They're like cartilage in your ear, and when they're born, they're flat, and then they fold out and become bone and fuse to the skull over time.
I want ossicones.
They're flat and they get larger as they grow. Okay.
Males'
so-
ossicones are much larger, growing increasingly massive over their lives.
Goddamn right.
And they're pretty much like boners.
So Coral
like my head boners?
won't have the big head boners. While Coral faced some early.
Look, he's got a boner.
And he's a giraffe.
While Coral faced some early challenges, including difficulty standing, she overcame them with the support of the Wild Safari staff. A video showed her drinking from a bottle, walking around, posing for the cameras in the giraffe barn that she's been living in until she joins her family.
So giraffes are one of those, they come out and then within, a brief period of time, they're walking. They're good to go.
Wild Safari includes the Safari Base Camp, where visitors can stroll through at their own pace and view the animals, grab a bite to eat, learn from the wildlife educators, or purchase a souvenir. And from there, guests can embark on the Safari off-road adventure.
Have they started allowing the strolling through the lion section yet?
When an open-air vehicle takes them on a journey through 350 acres, as tour guides point out, over 1,200 animals.
Look at
from
that over there.
6 continents, including the giraffes.
It's a bear.
Last year, this is pretty cool, the Savannah Sunset Resort and Spa, a luxury resort offering glamping suites and giraffe feeding experiences, opened at the Wild Safari.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. I've never done the safari. I've been
it's
to
fun.
Yeah, I've been to Great Adventure a bunch of times, but that's one of the attractions there that I've never taken advantage of.
When you've done Disney World, have you done the wild?
We went to Animal Kingdom.
Is that what it's called?
And
Animal
that was
Kingdom?
a cool park.
Now-
Really cool park. But and we did one of the safari rides, but there are enhanced ones. You can also stay on property where
If you're staying at the
they're right
hotel,
there.
are they right there?
That's from what I understand. Yeah, depending on which one you stay at.
Right.
At Animal Kingdom. Yeah.
Oh.
Animal Kingdom, I was really impressed with. That's where the Navi ride is,
Yeah,
right?
that's where the Avatar ride is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which you
good
thought was
stuff.
phenomenal.
My favorite ride there.
Though it's only like, 40 seconds?
It's not long. It's definitely, when you wait in the full line, you're like, was it worth the 3-hour wait or the 2-hour wait? But it really is great.
Okay.
All right. So anyhow, you can go see Coral. The new giraffe.
Carl! Good to see you!
Don't we have the Walking Dead?
I don't think we
We
have
don't
them
have that,
yelling
no.
Carl. No. We'll have to get that. We'll have to get that. All right. We got to wrap it up. That's all we have for Totally Presbo, my friend.
Bye, Presbo.
Totally Presbo.
All right, let's take another break. Come back in a moment. We got bizarre file stories I think you will find interesting when we return. So stay put. We'll be right back.
You're dressing up as a Bobby, to pick up some money, and there are these things going on in that world. That's sort of for some reason Hollywood
when depicted in a seedier fashion, always appeals to me. It's like a Raymond Chandler sort of.
Well, also maybe that's a bit of the truth.
Yeah. But in a way, that's sort of, and that's almost sort of enticing too. That bizarre aspect.
Yeah, I love how L.A. is depicted in this film. I think it's very real and tragic almost. You know.
I thought in watching the movie at first, and now seeing you today, I probably know it's not the case, but I thought maybe you would cut your own hair for the role.
No, it was really cool because I said, when I loved the script and wanted to do it, I said to Fred Durst, what do we do about how he looks? I mean, the Hawaiian shirt was an obvious kind of choice. There's bad shorts and bad sneakers and all that. But I said, what about the hair?
Yeah.
And the look? And he said, well, what do you think about mullets? And I said, I don't know. It's overdone. And he said, well, there's a lot of different kinds. Would you care to look? So I looked on the internet, about 100 different types, and boom, suddenly there was this dude, with the exact haircut Moose has, with glasses. And I texted it to Fred, and I said, I found the look. I found it. And he said, I agree. This is the right way to go.
I have to tell you, I was at it, and when I saw this character of Moose, I've told you guys this story. I was at a convention one time, one of these conventions. I am a real fan like this, not Moose level, and Adam West was there, the original Batman.
Man,
so everyone's
Adam
there.
West.
There was a guy who looks exactly like your character in this knapsack, the whole thing, the backpack. With about 50 cans of Fresca in that thing, and that same sort of delivery, and you work on this character with that, Mr. West, and he's sort of that thing, and so your heart sort of that this is not just a hobby, it's his life.
And there is a difference. There's the professional fan that usurps signatures and sells them,
right?
And then there's the guy that ain't selling nothing, and is going to keep it, and that's Moose. Moose is not getting rid of any of his memorabilia at all. So how do you detect the difference? I don't know.
Yeah.
But definitely there is a difference.
And you're known to be fan friendly. When the opportunity is right and that person does approach you
respectfully.
Respectfully. Do you know what you're giving them? I would think, this is a very special moment for them.
Absolutely. And I grew up being a fan, so I understood.
Right.
And I remember a very famous movie star who will remain nameless, but he kind of, just discarded my this is before I was famous. And I decided that if I ever became famous, I would never do that. So I live by that motto, But again, how do you navigate the line of privacy? And
it is a tough line because, and again, with people who approach you, and we always think in that. Listen, we're on local radio, but whatever the stories, if somebody comes up. It's every time the edict is you shake hands, you say hi, you do the deal because that's an important thing, and sometimes as what happens with Hunter, the star in this, he lets his life cloud his remembering because it starts off with a quote from him, "I'm nothing without my fans," but he doesn't abide by that.
Well, sometimes there are good people that are bad celebrities.
Yeah.
Let's face it.
Right.
So my cure to that always has been don't go out unless you're in the mood for it.
That's good. Good rule. Yeah.
Are you in the frame of mind if you go out to dinner to be interrupted, bothered, whatever, take pictures? And if you are, go out.
Yeah.
If you're not, that's just part of the very small price you pay for this glorious life that we have.
Well, case in point, in 1996, you met a nice 21-year-old young man in Beverly Hills, California, and I had a job at the time where I was driving around cars for Enterprise Rent-A-Car in Beverly Hills, and I saw you, and the only thing that I could think to say was, "Oh my God, that's John Travolta," and you came over and you looked me in the eye just like you did 10 minutes ago and shook my hand and said, "Hi, it's very nice to meet you." And then you went about your day, but you couldn't have been more pleasant. And I've heard countless stories of how kind you are to people, and it's not hard to be nice. And I think people just lose sight of that. It's really easy to just be a decent, nice person to everybody else.
Let's face it, what you resist, you become. The more you withdraw from it, the worse it gets. So just, own it.
Yeah.
By the way, I want to tell you, on the shaved head thing, I endorse it 100%.
You look good.
There's a movie that I love of yours. A lot of people are not familiar with it. They should be. It's From Paris with Love.
Oh, hell yeah.
And damn, you are the baddest badass in that movie. Preston, this movie will rock your world.
Okay, I haven't seen it.
And John is amazing at it. Who's
That's
the
a
director
fun
of that?
movie. That's the guy that did oh gosh, you've tested me now.
Yeah, he's great. He's done a whole bunch of stuff that's similar.
Fantastic.
But did you enjoy making that film?
I loved it.
Yeah.
Because they were demanding stunts and action that I've never, had done before, and I had to do them myself. And I loved the badass character. He was just whatever. He was bold.
Yeah.
Pierre Morel, is that it?
Yes, there's
Pierre
some.
Morel.
Yeah.
There you go. Thank you.
Well, I looked it up.
You've
so.
saved me.
What would you prefer, stunts or dancing?
Dancing.
Come on.
Any day.
Well, did Pitbull inspire? He?
Yeah, he's my buddy.
He's your buddy. You're in a video of his.
I love my Pitbull. He's. I met him 3 years ago just to reach out and tell him, how much as a fan.
Right.
And then he's such a brilliant entrepreneur. He got thinking about it, and he said, maybe I should put him in one of my videos dancing, because nobody's dancing very much anymore.
Right.
He does, but nobody else really. So I thought, well, hell, I'll join him. And
I think Christopher. I'm sorry to interrupt. I think Christopher Walken has danced in every single movie, even if it's for just a quick shuffle step. I think in every single role he's ever done.
Got a Broadway history. Music. Yeah,
and you danced with him in Hairspray.
I certainly did.
Yes,
he played my husband.
That's right.
So I wanted to ask you, because you had 3 movies in a row that I really loved of yours, and it started with Wild Hogs. I can't believe I loved it as much as I was laughing out loud.
It's a funny movie.
It is a funny movie. It really is. It surprised me with how funny it was. I don't know if that's a backhanded compliment or whatever, but
no, it's a funny movie, and who would have thought a bunch of old guys in motorcycles would be that funny?
But your character as Edna Turnblatt in Hairspray, and I love that movie. I have songs from that movie in my iPod. You Can't Stop the Beat is a really, really great song.
Great. Yeah.
And then followed by Bolt. And speaking of songs,
he's not kidding.
I'm not kidding. I Nearly Lost You. It was a duet that you did with Miley Cyrus.
Yes.
I have that on my iPod.
Do you really?
I do. And I thought you sounded great in that. So this is a long diatribe. But what do you prefer, singing or dancing?
I'd still prefer dancing, but I enjoy singing because I did both as an early professional. In order to work in New York, you had to sing, you had to act, you had to dance. 3 chances of getting employment.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed all of them.
Yeah.
But I'm most comfortable dancing and then probably acting and singing. I just happened to be able to hold a pretty good tune,
Well,
I had a very high, like almost a high baritone or tenor.
You still do.
Voice, yes.
You still do. I mean, in Bolt, in that song, and I would ask anybody that has an iTunes account or whatever, listen to the song if you haven't heard it before. It's the song that ends.
He's played it for us many times.
Maybe, but it's the song that runs at the end of the movie.
Well, it just seems that my voice is like. For instance, You're the One That I Want in Greece.
Yeah.
And Bolt song, there's this high, range that I sing in that it's kind of different than most people. So it's kind of identifiable as my niche or something as a singer.
I love the way you sing. You're the one that, because you're the one that I want.
Yeah. A lot of yodels in that song.
A lot of yodels. So with the career as long as yours, getting back to the Fanatic,
it's biblical, yes.
It seems I never hear stories of you. There never seems to be a situation like a moose ending up. You don't seem to draw that kind of.
I don't, because I think because I embrace my fans.
Yeah.
And I actually communicate with them. There is not that urge to. I'm not a mystery as much, and I'm not a can't have.
Right.
And as soon as you become a can't have, it starts a frenzy,
So some people are calling it a horror suspense. Do you like things of the things that make you uncomfortable?
I like the ones I've done. I love Carrie. When I was a kid, I did that movie. And
was that your first major film?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, with Brian De Palma, and then we got together again for Blowout, and I certainly love that.
Which is so we work obviously with audio. It took the classic film Blow Up and made it audio.
Yes, exactly.
And so I remember thinking, and I thought, with the editing and all that stuff. It actually was one of the things like I think I want to do this. But Brian De Palma is a brilliant. Did you see the documentary on him recently? I
haven't.
He goes on about you in
Really?
it, and just nothing but accolades and working with you. But it's a really cool insight to the movie.
When did this come out? I'd love to see it.
I watched it on iTunes.
Netflix or
Yeah,
iTunes?
it's probably all over the place.
I'm gonna have to see that one because I love documentaries.
Yeah.
I mean, they're my favorite entertainment.
There's actually CNN is doing a good series on movies now, a documentary series, and you are figuring prominently in it as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
2 things to watch.
John, I wanted to ask in The Fanatic, your character Moose mentions a couple of times somebody you've worked with before, and that's Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yes.
And
she's got 2 pools.
I got a kick out of hearing that because I'm sure you guys are friends or have been over the years, and maybe it's been a while. But has word gotten back to her that, or have you heard from her that she's mentioned in that?
Not yet, but soon. Soon, I invited her to the premiere, so maybe she'll learn that.
Yeah. I thought, was that Fred's idea to include that, or did he write that in?
Okay. He wrote that. All the dialogue is. I improvised quite a bit, but all the primary dialogue is Fred's.
Okay.
Because it seems. But I was reading that he was working with you, sort of. Asking questions to Moose to incite responses, so that you started to think.
Well, that's
in that
the actor, and Fred he's a really terrific actor as well as a director. But he's the only director I've worked with that actually could do this. But he would legitimately improvise with me as Moose, and it got me in the frame of mind. And then I would go to each department. I go to the lighting department, the wardrobe, the makeup here, and I'd be in character, and I'd have them ask me questions. And it was like a juggernaut. And as soon as Fred sensed that I had arrived at the Moose zone,
the Moose zone,
boom, we would do action.
That's cool.
And it was a very, very great way to. There's nothing better for an actor to prep than for someone to ask them questions about them.
In the character.
In the character.
So that's
to think in the character.
Is that classically what we would refer to as method?
No, I'd say it's a method.
Okay.
I don't know if it's the classic method because it is more about reliving past incidents and things. I think this is more.
And you never had a mullet.
And I never had a mullet. But I do think that assuming the beingness of a character quickly is where you want to be when you do a role. And it helps you to be that when you're asked questions before you go on.
Sure.
It's nice.
You didn't have a mullet, but you did have long hair in Pulp Fiction, and I get you in my phone fairly frequently. When I'm not, when I'm running late to the gym, my trainer will send me a text, and it's just you doing the looking around me give in Pulp Fiction. In that role, you played such an interesting character because you're lost a lot of the time, and you're in this haze, but you're also in this like euphoria. Where did that come from?
It's a very good question because he's a hitman, but he's also what they call a chippy, a weekend heroin addict. And I thought, well, I have no reality on that. I'm gonna have to find out. So I interviewed several heroin addicts and asked them about how they felt. And then finally one day I said, look, I'm never gonna do it, so you have to help me understand that feeling. And he said, okay, well, I really can't, but if you have to know the beginning of the feeling, is get really drunk on tequila and lay in a body of warm water. And he said that little bit of feeling is the beginning of that.
Did you do that?
I did that. And of course, when I'm not a drinker either, but when I did it, everyone I knew wanted to join me in the experiment.
Did it. Filled in. Thank you very much, Nick. We appreciate that.
Yeah, buddy.
All right, Bizarre File time.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
Brought to you by Camelback Mountain. You can join Marissa, Casey, and Nick. They will be at Camelback Mountain's 20th annual Pond Skim. It is this coming Saturday. And it's going to be the wildest end of season party on the slopes. Go to camelbackresort.com for details. So we go from talking about the mountains to the beach. Austin Contagiacomo was strolling the same Jersey Shore beaches once run by famed political boss and bootlegger Enoch Nucky Johnson last month when he stumbled upon an incredible piece of liquid history. He said, I honestly didn't even know what I had. So the mysterious bottles that he found were lying flat, half buried in the wet sand just south of Margate Pier. Each was filled with golden liquid with the name Lincoln Inn embossed on the glass. He said, originally I thought it was trash, but he said, as soon as I saw a few of them, I thought it might be something else. Marking suggests the whiskey was bottled in 1928, making it nearly 100 years old and dating it to the Prohibition era.
That is wild.
And the story of Contagiacomo's discovery took off after he posted pictures of the bottles on Reddit asking for help identifying what they were and where they came from.
So this was the basis for Boardwalk Empire, this guy, right?
A spirits reporter from Men's Journal was the first to reach out to him about the find, he said, and Contagiacomo works for the Coast Guard and just finished 24-hour shift when he made the discovery. So a quick Google search, he discovered Lincoln Inn was a Canadian distillery that ran bootlegged whiskey to the Atlantic coast during Prohibition years, but closed in the 1970s. Lincoln Inn whiskey was distilled in Canada and may have been one of the companies that later became Seagram's, although it's not entirely clear. So the bottom of a whiskey bottle with a diamond shape may indicate the whiskey was bottled during Prohibition. But how the whiskey bottles ended up in the sand is the mystery. So Contagiacomo suggested that they may have been sucked up by dredging machines off of the coast and deposited on the beach because they move a lot of sand over there. He said that he kept one bottle for himself and he gave the others to friends, family, and his coworkers. And some of the bottles he found had varying degrees of clarity, he said, and he has no plans to open the bottle that he kept for himself. So he handed these over, which is pretty wild because, I mean, you would think these would be definitely some type of collector's item.
So there's no way that would be drinkable, would it? I mean,
I don't know. I'm not sure what the shelf life of whiskey is.
Yeah, and but Nick, I think I talked to you about this. Where there's I don't know what winery, but they bottle the wine and then they bury it in the ocean.
It's like a gimmick.
Oh, is it a gimmick?
Well, I mean,
Okay.
there's an impact on it too, Case, but like they do it because people talk about it and it looks cool and it sounds cool afterwards. Yeah. This, I think you're right, Steve. I don't think there's any way you could drink it, although we should try it just to make sure.
To make sure. All right,
Gary Lauer.
A historic fort in England has been damaged after 40 golf balls were hit into its walls, according to police. Landguard Fort
warfare has changed over the years.
In Felixstowe, Suffolk, which dates from the 18th century, suffered mortar damage to its outer wall after the golf balls were hit from a nearby grass mound.
Okay, this wasn't an attack.
No, other balls were hit over its walls and into the inner parade area. The police believe the incident took place between Monday and Tuesday. Some balls had managed to fly in the inner area of the fort. The damage caused is an offense under the Ancient Monuments and Archaeological Areas Act of 1979.
It's a long act.
Over the centuries, there have been a number of forts on the site that have played a vital role in the defense of the East Coast. The current fort dates back to the 18th century and was modified in the 19th century. And the site was manned during both World Wars before it was disarmed and closed in 1956. It is open to visitors at certain points of the year, but you can't go hitting golf balls into it.
Come on, people.
In Los Angeles, a neighborhood is on edge after more than 100 birds were shot to death with bullets, narrowly missing people in Westchester.
What?
Yeah, this is resident Brenna Lenoir said, I think the whole block is feeling pretty freaked out about it. She said it's crows, but how long until it escalates to pets and children, or maybe the rest of us, or perhaps a bullet ricochets off of something? The LA Police Department is now investigating the deadly animal attack terrifying residents. The latest shots rang out Saturday on a murder of crows, killing 3 and injuring another. Lenoir said that the suspect targets the birds gathered in a massive tree, and they never know when the gunman will take aim. She said it's like pop, 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 sometimes a swish as it goes over your head.
It can be very dangerous.
I was out with a neighbor the other day walking her dog, and she ducked because she heard the noise coming from above. More than 100 birds have been shot and killed. It began before the pandemic and has since escalated. So they have no idea who's doing it. They don't know why. The animal control has performed necropsies, and the California Department of Fish and Wildlife responded when 2 hawks, which are federally protected, were killed. But so far, the shooter remains a mystery, and so does the motive. So
they need to put a robotic hawk or something up there to catch. Yeah.
All right, and then here's a story out of Florida, where we just came from. A man who killed his family in Seminole County is now part of a new investigation into a murder-for-hire plot in Las Vegas. And there's an interesting little twist to this. So Grant Amato is serving life in prison for killing his parents and older brother in 2019. Amato and the wife of a reality TV star are accused of plotting to hire a hitman.
So I know this guy because I watch this show all the time.
So Victoria Goodwin is charged with solicitation to commit murder and conspiracy to commit murder. She's being held on $100,000 bond. Vegas police says Goodwin and Amato were in love, and they plan to have her husband, Aaron Goodwin, killed. He is the host of the show Ghost Adventures.
So Zach Baggins is the main guy you know. This is the guy, Preston, that on the way where they're driving to the haunted thing, he'll start seeing ghosts at the Wawa. So he's a little too eager.
The woman allegedly set aside $11,515 to pay the hitman. Victoria had become aware of Amato through a true crime documentary and began writing to him. She described their relationship as pen pals, which began in May of 2024 and ended in November. The report says Florida corrections officers at the Okeechobee Correctional Institution seized Amato's phone and found text messages between Amato and Goodman that date back to October 2024. The woman allegedly said in her text, "I am so anxious, LOLOL. I just can't believe it's happening. How did I get to this point? And am I a bad person because I chose to end his existence, not divorce?"
Yeah, you are.
Investigators say Goodwin told Amato about her husband's schedule and that at one point, Amato contacted the hitman saying, Aaron is asleep right now in the hotel room, brother. I need to know what is going on. Can I get an update? Was it done? The text messages will be key evidence in forming a case against Goodwin. Goodwin is accused of telling officers that she was having problems in her marriage. The arrest report says she described herself as sometimes daydreaming of being in a different situation. Victoria expressed her feelings of wanting to be without Aaron and with Amato, which she described as fantasy or daydream. I don't know what that means. So the Adam Goodwin has not commented on the investigation yet, but yeah, they're saying she was trying to kill him.
By the way, he's filed for divorce, believe it or not.
Go figure.
Yeah, go figure.
All right, and that is what I have in the bizarre file for you. A reminder, it's St. Patrick's Day. Brent Porsche is going to be broadcasting live today, my friend. You will want to stop by Dolan's Bar in Ridley Park because Brent's going to be broadcasting from 3 to 7, perfect time for a little happy hour. Go by, get yourself a drink.
Yeah.
And while you are there, it's an MMRBQ ticket raid, and he will be giving away tickets every 15 minutes. So this is your shot to win those for free. If you've been dying to get them, head over there. Plus, they're going to have at Dolan's live bands, traditional Irish food, drink specials. It's Delco's greatest Irish dive bar. So stop by and see Brent Porsche during his show today. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back with the lesson question, the trash, the music news. So make sure you stay with us. We'll be back in just a moment.
When are we doing that? Okay, we are doing my character study together tomorrow night.
Man, that sounds like fun. I want to do that.
It was fun, and then from there I grew, and then with the descriptions that they told me, and I was able to design it. But that's even Quentin didn't know all the time what I was doing because he just trusted me. He said, "John, well, I don't." Why he's walking that slow, why he's talking that slow, I'll figure it out later. But
he let you go? He just let you go?
He just let me go.
Wow.
Because I think the great ones do that. Brian De Palma and Quentin and Robert Altman and Mike Nichols, all those guys I worked with all had that one thing in common. They hired you, you're 90% there. 10% is guiding you here and there.
Is that what happened? So it's Saturday Night Fever. John Badham was the director?
Yeah, he let me go because I said, Badham, you're from Texas, I'm from New York. I know this guy better.
Yeah.
So leave me alone. I'll help you with me, and then I won't interfere with how you direct it.
It's got to be the ultimate compliment as an actor for a director to say, you got it.
It is,
Yeah.
and it's the smartest.
Yeah.
If the actor is trustworthy.
Right.
I think it's the only way to go, because otherwise you get a mediocre performance as opposed to a kind of a higher end performance.
I want to ask you, you've worked with John Woo twice, right?
Oh, yes.
So you did Face Off and Broken Arrow. And for a guy who's so incredibly likable, you play a incredibly adroit prick in those movies. You are so evil.
I haven't figured that out yet. How is that possible?
But it seems to me you enjoyed it so much, especially with playing basically Nicolas Cage.
Yes.
with that, and you are so hilariously evil in that. Was that just a joy?
It was a joy,
Yeah.
and it was easier for me than it was for Nicholas.
Because you had to tamp down.
Well, Nicholas really had to find me somewhere, and he had a hard time finding me in the movies because I'm different in most movies. But Nicholas is very specific in his talk and his behavior, and so it was a little easier for me to grasp his side of it than it was for him to grasp my side.
So I wanted to ask you, let's get away from acting for a second. I wanted to ask you about your planes and your pilot's license. What ratings do you have, and how long did it take you to get them?
Okay, you ready for the long list?
Well, so I have a couple of friends that are pilots, and so I'm a little bit familiar with it.
Okay, I have 10,000 hours in the air.
Jeez.
It's quite a bit. I have, 12 jet ratings, 747, 707, Gulfstream, Citation, Lear, Hawker, Falcon jet, three different fighter jets.
No kidding.
Oh, wow.
Wait, which fighter? Because Preston and I have both flown in fighter jets.
Yeah, I went
we
up
didn't
with the
pilot it.
No, I got to fly mine little. I went up with the Blue Angels. And,
did you?
Yeah.
How was
a
that?
media flight. It was amazing.
Did they make you sick?
I passed out and puked.
That's why I won't go with them, because I don't want to do that. I have too much pride to end up, doing that. But
Yeah, it was FA-18. You were in an F-16 because he was with the Air National Guard.
I wore a G suit, so I didn't pass out or get sick.
Yeah, well,
but I
that's
did pull 9
good
Gs.
for you.
Yeah.
Well, you have to tell them before. You have to say, you know what? I don't want to get sick. Please don't make me. Yeah. So that's my.
And how many years? How long did it take?
Oh God, I've been flying since I was 16.
Okay.
Really? It blows my mind when I see a shot of you sitting in the cockpit of a 707. I mean, because I know my litmus test has always been, if you've ever locked your keys in your car, you shouldn't be a pilot. So but to me that it requires such a skill set and an attention to detail. And you just legitimately, we know about like David Gilmour as a pilot, and there's a lot of people just love it. I'm thrilled with the notion, but I would never do it because I know my own limitations. But I mean, when you get behind when you're flying a 747, are you white knuckling it, or are you just in absolute ecstasy?
No, I find that the bigger the plane, the more almost simple it is.
Really?
Yeah, and less complex. Well, it's complex in its systems, but it's, there's a lot of booster systems and boosted systems, I should say, that make it like a power steering. It's kind of effortless.
Backups.
You don't really feel the size of the plane.
All right.
In the smaller jets, you actually feel it more.
Would there be enough room for me to lay down and cry? Because that's all I have.
Yes, you can lay down and cry.
Being famous, you have a lot of people have the privilege of having private jets and being flown all over the place. When you do get into one of your jets or something, are you flying it?
Yes, for the most part, unless I'm tired, and then you shouldn't be.
Did you see there was a news story yesterday? Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s citation that went off the runway, caught on fire.
Really?
Everybody got out. Everybody was okay, but the plane was a total loss. Yeah.
Oh, I've got to look that up.
Yeah,
I think you always learn by these things.
Okay. Yeah, they're the FAA and the Safety Administration are looking at it. Speaking of aircraft, your 707 is is being donated.
Yes, I'm donating to Australia. I've had it 18 years and I loved it, but it's getting antiquated and it's time to give it away. So I'm donating it to an Australian museum.
Was this the one we heard? We were talking to Olivia Newton-John, and she said that she had never seen Grease, and you had her and her husband.
Yes.
Come on. Well, his husband had never seen.
He had never seen.
And
Grease.
you actually went on the plane and watched it.
Correct. Yes, that is correct. I said, if you're going to marry Olivia Newton-John, you better see Grease.
Oh, that must have been so much fun.
It was, watching his reaction, because then he became the entertainment, watching him watch the screen, like I did with my dad with Mary Poppins when I was 10. I wanted him so badly to see it that I watched him the whole movie, watch the screen.
There was a screening of Grease last night at the Mann Music Center, which is this great venue in town, and the Philadelphia Orchestra was there to perform the soundtrack, and they just do a phenomenal job of accompanying the live music with the movie, and people were just going nuts for it. I mean, the movie's nearly 40 years old, or maybe it's 40 years old at this point.
It is, and it is a phenomenon. It's really interesting to see how each generation embraces that film, because I remember when I was little, watching Yankee Doodle Dandy or
Cagney.
Watching Wizard of Oz, and they all held up, but they were only 20 years old at that time.
Yeah.
This movie's 40, and it's still like it was as though it were done last year.
Yeah, it's pretty timeless.
It's really timeless, which I'm proud of.
It's funny though because I think there was a certain group in time where I was very aware of silent films, and it wasn't like I was around. Thank God,
Yes, but they showed them on
you would see
4
it a
o'clock
lot.
movie.
Right. And you had an appreciation for it. That's a little harder to get now. But I mean, so for right now, I think a lot of people to be turned on to the movies of the 70s, which you are a part of.
Sure.
The second golden era of Hollywood.
Yes.
Because these are great movies that sit there, and when kids or younger people discover them, the light goes on. It's like, oh.
Yes,
because
the more timeless they are, the more they discover them, not only in a new unit of time, but as though it were they were back then.
Yeah.
And it had the same impact because Grease and Saturday Fever seemingly, even Urban Cowboy, have the same impact on the new generation that it had on people then.
Absolutely.
For some reason.
Still as profound as ever. Yeah.
It seems it. Do you know?
Yeah, as I did musical theater growing up, and Grease is the one play that has always eluded me, and I always wanted to play Danny Zuko, and now
I wanted to play Sandy.
Yeah, as a 44-year-old man, that's never gonna happen.
Oh, it's
At
never
that
too
point,
late.
you're Donald Zuko at that point.
I think you should do it. The Fox News group did today. They did a reenactment of Grease. They filmed it per shot.
Oh, really?
Yes. You guys could do that.
We could do that.
100%.
We've got our Sandy.
Absolutely.
We've got all our T-Birds here.
Sure. Frenchie.
I'm the lesser known guy, Baldy. So
It doesn't matter. Just do the leather jacket. You're home.
I mean, we still
The Steve Show. It's 16 minutes after 10 o'clock on this St. Paddy's Day. The weather cleared up. Like we said it was going to. We're even going to see a little bit more of daybreak through the clouds as the day progresses. High today about 57 degrees. Looks kind of breezy out right now. Tomorrow, 64 and sunny. It's going to be a beautiful day, and Wednesday's even better. Sunshine, high 71. We'll finally end up getting some rain on Thursday, just a heads up, and then it's going to cool off leading into the weekend. Friday's high only about 55 degrees, so next couple days going to be pretty enjoyable. We have a lesson question and a prize associated with that question. If you know the answer to this, what you need to do is text the word Zoom to 39333, and we will send you a daily link that will allow you to jump on with us if you have the correct answer. We'll grab one randomly. Here's the question for you. Eeyore, and also Winnie the Pooh, used the phrase, oh bother. What was Eeyore's original way of expressing frustration? We found that out earlier this morning, had no idea. So Eeyore, and also Winnie the Pooh, used the phrase, oh bother. What was Eeyore's original way of expressing frustration? While we do the trash, we will await your answer. And once again, you need to text the word Zoom to 39333. We will send you the link. Then you click on the link, and then you get in line and see if we will get to you. While you're doing that, let's fire up the trash.
The trash business is a gold mine.
93.3 WMMR with Preston and Steve's Hollywood Trash.
All right, this morning is brought to you by A.D. Moyer, trusted expert since 1939. A.D. Moyer Lumber is your professional source for decks, windows, doors, kitchens, millwork, and more. You can visit them on the web at admoyer.com. What's up this morning, Steve?
Well, Bill Belichick's super young girlfriend, Jordan Hudson, fighting back against online troll Abby Riley, saying she is just jealous because she's never known love like theirs. Riley later responded saying she has known that kind of love because she has a grandfather.
Oh my God.
Legendary rock band Journey had to flee the stage Friday night after an electrical fire broke out. Lead singer Arnel Pineda says he was so certain he was going to die that Steve Perry's life flashed before his eyes.
Oh my God.
And finally, Ray J and his estranged wife, Princess Love, got into a heated fight Thursday night that ended with Ray J in the back of a squad car. I want to chop his head off and claw out his lungs to his back, screamed Princess Love. And that's your Hollywood Trash.
All right, we got a Zoomer who is up and wants to take a crack at this. So we're gonna go to listener John. Hey, John, how you doing, my man?
Gadzooks, good morning.
Gadzooks, nice MMR shirt you're wearing there. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
All right, so here is your question. Eeyore and also Winnie the Pooh used the phrase, oh, bother. But what was Eeyore's original way of expressing frustration? What is it, John?
It was, oh, God damn it.
God damn it. Yes, that is absolutely correct, my man. Hang on the line, bud. We're going to get your information, and we are going to give you, I didn't even say what the prize was.
It's good.
It's a pair of tickets as MMR Rocks the Band live Thursday, April 24th at the Excite Center, and that is Parks Casino. You can purchase tickets. Visit parkscasino.com. Must be 21 and older. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Now, Preston and Steve's Music News on 93.3 WMMR.
We have a concert announcement to make.
Yes. We'll do that after the sponsorship?
Yes, I will do that after the sponsorship. And then also, Marissa, I want to test out the hotline if you get a chance. Marissa, do you hear me? I want to test out the hotline when you get a chance. All right, so here we go. The music news is brought to you by Worldwide Stereo. Is your yard ready to rock? Well, don't miss the Take It Outside Spring Showcase on April 5th. Info at worldwidestereo.com. Rockin' backyards since 1979. All right, should we make the concert announcement?
Do it. Do it now.
Take the drum roll as a yes. So let's do it. This show will be Saturday, August 9th. It is a show at the Borgata Event Center in Atlantic City. The tickets for the show will go on sale this Friday at 10 a.m. via Ticketmaster. And I'll tell you how you can win tickets after I tell you that the band, the Black Keys. Black Keys are playing a gig. It's on a Saturday. That's wonderful. It's in August. That's great because it's down the shore. And then it's at the Borgata Event Center, Atlantic City, which is a wonderful place to go to. And like I said, the tickets go on sale Friday at 10 a.m. via Ticketmaster. And not only that, but Mr. Pierre Robert is going to have your chance to win tickets all week long.
Nice.
So when Pierre gets in here, we'll find out what he's got in store for that. May just be random or he may have something specific in mind. I'm not really sure. So let me reiterate that once again. Black Keys, Saturday, August 9th, the Borgata Event Center in Atlantic City. Tickets on sale Friday at 10 a.m. via Ticketmaster. And Pierre is going to have tickets all week long for you to win. I've never seen Black Keys. I got to believe it's a great show. The songs are so awesome. I know you interviewed Dan Arbach one time.
I did, right before the show at the Wells Fargo Center.
And pretty cool guy?
Great guy. And I love these two dudes. They're, and they put on a great show. And like you said, man, it's a Saturday down the shore. Like, come on now.
Yeah. All right, so follow along with Pierre for your chance to win tickets. All right, so as Steve was saying in... Is this my music news? Wait. Oh, sorry. As Steve was saying in the trash, Journey was forced to stop the song "Don't Stop Believin'." They abruptly ended at the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo at the NRG Stadium on Friday night after an electrical fire caused their audio to cut out right in the middle of their signature hit. Video from the event from Neil Shaw, and he posted these. Vocalist Arnel Pineda was belting some of the song's most memorable lyrics. He was singing, "A singer in a smoky room, smell of wine and cheap perfume, for a smile they can share the night," and then it went dead. We're all gonna die! The sound system and the jumbotrons all malfunctioned, leaving the audience, though, to continue with "It Goes On and On and On."
They're thinking, yeah.
Which is really cool.
This must be the audience participation part.
Official accounts reported an electrical incident under the stage that prompted the show's conclusion. They said, "We regretfully announce the cancellation of tonight's Journey concert. We sincerely apologize to all fans for this disappointment. Our team is working diligently to assess the situation, and we will provide updates regarding rescheduling options and refunds as soon as possible."
They eventually traced it back to Neil Schoen's waffle iron, which apparently the roadies were cooking up some waffles during the show, and that was the issue.
Hope it was worth it.
So here's another issue at a concert. If there's one thing you don't mess with in Chicago, it's the trophies of the phenomenal championship run by the Bulls. It was during a concert in United Arena. The pyrotechnics fired off by Disturbed sent flames high above the stage and apparently a bit too high. According to a report on Friday from the Chicago Tribune, United Center staff discovered after the show that the pyro had caused extensive damage to the fabric of 6 championship banners hanging from the rafters to commemorate championship runs of Michael Jordan in the 90s. The banners have been removed, the staff says, and they are working with the Bulls to get them repaired. So.
What do you do? Well, you have to do it. You have to, if you
they got to
do what you have
fix them.
to do. Fix them.
Do they normally like lift those banners for shows and stuff?
I don't know.
They hang low for, the sporting events and stuff. But
I always thought they kind of did raise them up for other events. But pyrotechnics, causing issues.
How about this? Wes Scantlin, lead singer of Puddle of Mud, was arrested on Tuesday in Torrance, California, following a domestic dispute with his girlfriend that left visible marks on her arms.
So this is again another time of doing this. He's not a good guy.
As they were arresting him, authorities discovered a small quantity of drugs in his possession. He now faces felony charges for domestic violence and possession of a controlled substance. Court appearances scheduled for March and April. It's not his first encounter with the law. He was most recently involved in a standoff with a SWAT team after he refused to exit his vehicle in August, so he can't keep himself out of trouble. Wanted to mention this one for you and me, Steve. Dave Mason, who is set to return to touring next week after canceling a fall 2024 trek because he needed a heart operation. Unfortunately, health issues have once again put those plans on hold. On his socials, fans were told, we want to share that Dave has been hospitalized due to a serious infection that developed quickly. Tickets for all March, April, and May shows will be refunded at the point of purchase.
Been away.
Yeah. He had been scheduled to launch his 2025 tour in Augusta, Georgia this Thursday night with 21 dates lined up, but all are apparently canceled at this point. A second leg of the tour will kick off July 11th, but that remains up in the air as of now. And then we will do... Oh, hey, Nick.
Yeah.
I found the sports.
Hey!
What did you say?
I told you.
You said it was going to be in like
Bizarre File
and Music News.
I found it.
Here it is.
You want to do it again just all the time saying it?
No.
All right.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
There's a lot, and I'm too damn tired. One last story. The earliest known demo by Bob Dylan has sold at auction, with the new owner dishing out just over $39,000 for the historic tapes. Recorded at New York's Gaslight Cafe in 1961, the original master demo tape captures the legend when he was just 20 years old. Tape features 6 early Dylan tracks, including original compositions Man on the Street, He Was a Friend of Mine, Talking Bear Mountain Picnic Massacre Blues, and Song to Woody, alongside traditional covers, Pretty Polly and Car Car.
So even back then, he was a Toy Story fan.
I guess so, right?
But that Song to Woody, Nick, I just started watching it on my way back from Florida. He basically found out where Woody Guthrie was in the hospital, and he goes and he sang him a song.
Watching
A Completely Unknown.
Okay.
Yeah. And so he did this song that he wrote specifically for Woody Guthrie.
It's
So
what starts the movie.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So this went for $39,000. Pretty
Wow. And you said it was the Gaslight Cafe, Preston?
Yes.
Yeah, I think they spent a decent amount of time in that venue in the movie as well.
That's on my list. I got to see that movie soon.
I think you'll like it. But let me know what you think, because I know you're not a huge Dylan fan, but Chalamet's just incredible in it.
Cool. All right, that's music news. We're going to take a break. We'll come back in a second.
Check the hotline first or no?
Oh, yeah.
Let's
I'm
do
sorry.
it.
Hang on.
Yeah,
All right, and now, where do I pull it up?
Oh, you know what? I have to answer it here. All right, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to answer it.
We want to see if our phone line works, how it sounds, because when we tried to do this a little while back with an interview, where do I turn it up?
On the phone.
It was not good.
Right here?
Yeah. Assume it's right
Okay,
there.
we now go. Oh, man. Do you hear my voice? Yeah.
Holy hell.
I know. Hi, Marissa. Can you say something?
Is this a Preston and Steve show?
Oh, my God, you're on the air. You sound fine.
People of Earth.
We sound... It sounds like I've taken a cup and put it over my mouth.
That's right, people.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
But I sound okay.
We use a helium atmosphere aboard the Genosphere. That's why it sounds weird.
Okay.
It sounds, it's bad.
Okay, I'm glad we did this. And let
It's
me
a
turn
disaster.
it down, and now you hear how it sounds normal.
Yes.
Normal, not normal, not normal, normal, not normal. All right, there you go.
That's weird.
So we did
It is very weird.
Weird.
I've never heard it flange like that before.
All right, so we'll take a break. We'll come back in a moment and wrap up our program in just a moment. Why isn't there? Oh, you paused it.
I paused it.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
Okay, we'll be back in a minute. Bye-bye.
He says, rockin' and rollin'.
And whatnot.
Of course.
It just finishes all the time.
Every single time.
Without
That's
fail.
hilarious.
Well, so just thank you for all of that stuff that you've given us
you're
over the
welcome.
years. It's a
stuff.
real pleasure actually looking at you in the flesh. It's you got beautiful eyes.
Really?
Man, it didn't get uncomfortable to the very end.
No, are you kidding? I'm an actor. I love compliments. Please, more.
You're dressed really nice too. What a watch on you in the pocket square.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I've decided that we're each other's scenery, and that at some point, maybe not for yourself, but for another person, you have to be presentable.
Yeah.
So anyway,
You had a great quote on Good Morning America. You're making the round, so you were hitting those guys, and you said something I thought was a great outlook, and you said, life is art. Life is art, so appreciate it, enjoy it, and it's here for your entertainment. You know?
Well, it is, because I think so many people don't view life as an art, but how you eat, who you spend time with, where you go, how you do it, how you dress is all part of an art if you choose to allow it to be an art. It's not just the quote unquote arts of music and dance and sports, and it's actually how we live.
Yeah.
What we're doing right now. Well, of course, this is an art because you're on radio performing.
Yeah.
But it's how we interact is also part of the art of life.
I love that. I love that outlook. All right. Well, if you want to see John definitely in a role
big departure,
unlike he's ever been in, then you want to see The Fanatic. It's a great movie, and it's in theaters on August 30th. Wonderful to have you here, John. Thanks so much.
This was probably the most fun I've ever had at an interview situation. This has been awesome.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
And loved your story, Nick, and I loved your story, Casey. Oh my God, two great stories.
I want to hug you so bad right now.
Let's hear it. John Travolta, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, John. Do you remember the squirtable butter used to come in a thing?
Yeah, butter spray.
Is that what?
I
No,
can't
not
believe it's
spray,
not
not
butter.
spray.
There's an actual like liquid, almost
Really?
like
liquidy
the way you
butter.
dispense mustard.
It was
don't
more
remember
back in the 80s probably, and if you had a waffle, you could go blink, 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 blink in each little.
If I had a waffle,
Each little
I'd eat it
crevice.
in the morning. Yeah, there we go. Parkway.
Butter in every little square?
You do.
If you're
you're a man.
If you're a man, no. No, I obsess about little things like that.
Okay.
It's just like weird.
So your answer is yes, you do.
Yeah, I have a butter memory with Preston that is probably 19 years old. Do you know what it is?
memories.
Butter memory.
Preston, do you remember the butter memory?
That's probably 19 years old.
19 years old.
memories.
You would have to butter memories. You would have to give me a hint.
Me, you, Steve, and Marilyn.
Wow.
that wraps it up.
Butterfest,
Did a show
1998.
for 3 years together.
Media Court Diner.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
You know the butter memory?
Yeah.
Oh, well, do tell.
So we're sitting there, and it's after we had done a show, and we're having lunch, and there was
We're all just getting to know each other, by the way.
yeah, we're all getting to know each other, and so they had a little ramekin full of butter, which is a small dish. And so I guess it was a ball of butter or something like that. And we're just talking, and I just reach out and grab it and just squish it with my hand, just to be outrageous,
provocative.
I'm like, ooh, butter,
Yeah.
and I did that, and he died laughing.
I was
So.
like, what? I wish I would have done that.
On the first sight.
That looked fun.
Butter memories.
But if I owned a diner and
I dine in the morning.
and I was serving waffles, there would be a special little spray that I would put melted butter in so that you could go.
You would keep it like you could even have it as you could have the way you have a mug warmer where your butter could be on it and with the pump so that you could dispense that
Now
way.
it would need to be more like misty,
Like a fire hose?
No, like
a spray bottle.
like a spray bottle, like you would spray your indoor plants.
Like a spritz.
I disagree. I think that the butter, like the spray butter, you're lessening the quality of the butter product. And if you're going to have like actual butter, you're going to need to have like a vat of melted butter. This is your diner, so I'm not trying to tell you how to run your business.
You open your own diner next door.
I'll build your own goddamn
normal, boring pats of
I
butter.
kind of want to work with you, like almost like as if I was your therapist, and to make you okay with not having butter in every square. Like it's all right.
No, I know.
It's still going to taste good. You're going to get enough butter.
Believe me, I've
Touchstone Pictures. He had to have butter in every square until a concerned therapist came into his life. My name is Romano. I think I can help you.
Then we need some good music like
yes,
Peter
inspiring.
Gabriel,
Salisbury Hill.
Salisbury Hill. Yeah. See if you can pull that. So the serious part when he realizes he has a problem.
Oh, no, I can't even get it together anymore. Every time I go into the diner, I start trembling like crazy. I think I know someone you can talk to. And then she came into his life. My name's Romano, and today's the day we start making changes. From Touchstone Pictures, the story of a boy who learned now how to not have butter in every square of his waffle. Butter squareless waffle boy.
Butter squareless waffle boy.
Or something to that effect.
The butter therapist.
I feel like I already went through this with Jace. Like at breakfast time. It's okay, honey.
Unbutterable.
Is that the name of the movie?
Yeah.
I'm doing it!
I heard recently that isn't even. I mean, just the old, sneaking the look at your next door neighbor's paper is not necessarily the chosen form of cheating these days, because so much stuff is done online now that students are using Google Docs quite a bit to cheat with.
All the time.
Yeah.
And so now they're trying to make. In fact, they've said they've noticed a general increase in grades that they believe is artificially manipulated.
Really?
And so much so that Google itself has stepped up and has, like I'm looking at an article here, they're trying to set up ways to prevent Google Docs being used for cheating.
So here's the way I understand that this works, and if I'm wrong, please tell me.
Yeah.
We've got students here, we've got strippers that know the answers as well, because Victoria was chiming in on this while we were off air. That if someone takes a test in a class before you, that you're going to have that same class, and they therefore can get that exact exam that you're about to take and send that to you before you take the exam. Is that kind of the way it works? Is that what I understand?
You know who knows?
Ben knows. Ben, come in here.
Ben here.
Intern Ben, we're going to get him on the mic. And by the way, Ben, are you currently a student? All three Beastie Boys on 93.3 WMMR. Brass Monkey. It is 10:36. A Monday morning with Preston and Steve show. Started off wet and nasty. Now it's looking like we're improving through the day. High of about 57. We're going to have clear skies by the time we get to the evening. And tomorrow, sunshine, 64 degrees. Not bad. Sunny on Wednesday, high 71. Even better. But then we kind of have a bit of a change on Thursday. Rain comes in the afternoon. It's going to start off nice, and then we get rain, and then that leads to cooler temperatures on Friday with a high topping out at just 55 degrees. So prepare yourself, and don't forget about joining Brent Porsche. I'm going to hit that again today, St. Patrick's Day. Brent is broadcasting live at Dolan's Bar in Ridley Park, and it is Delco's greatest Irish dive bar. And he will be there from 3 to 7 today doing his show live, and he'll have MMRBQ tickets to give away every 15 minutes. And he'll have the tickets right there. Just give them to you. Be good to go.
Great.
Except for the concert coming up on May 10th. Live bands, traditional Irish food, drink specials, all this stuff, and a wonderful guy to hang out with, the amazing Brent Porsche. So today, make sure that you join him. Pierre Robert is in our studio. Hey, man.
Good day.
How you doing?
Fine, thanks. It's going to be fun with Brent later this afternoon.
Yeah.
He is an absolutely delightful human being.
He is.
And fun to hang out with.
Yeah.
And great fun to drink with, having done that before. Haven't we, Nick?
We have indeed.
Yes, we have. So there it is. Did you guys play St. Patrick's music over the course of the program?
No.
Okay, good. That leaves me lots to get to.
Left the slate clear for you.
Thank you.
I almost threw shipping up to Boston in there, and then I glanced and I saw that you had some Dropkick Murphys coming up, so I decided not to do that. The closest we came to is we played a Green Day song.
Right.
That is,
Green.
oh my God, you went all out.
We crazy,
you
right?
really went over the top. All right, good. We are ready to rock.
You know what's really funny is that it being St. Patty's Day, just with everything going on last week and all that, like, I didn't even realize it until, like, yesterday. I was like, oh, crap, tomorrow's St.
Dude, I
Patty's
didn't
Day.
even notice when I left for work. Well, I was I was a little preoccupied this morning, but I didn't even notice on the way into work. I'm like, I didn't wear green, nothing. I was so goddamn tired.
Yeah. I oddly enough did. And I'm, we're both Irish, and but I did.
Did you hear about our ordeals yesterday at the airport?
I did not. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that those things.
Weather
happened to
was
you, though.
bad, and there was delay for thousands of people, and that's why Kathy's not here. She didn't get in until 3. Didn't leave till like 3 o'clock this morning. We got in around 1 this morning.
I'm so sorry.
A couple hours of sleep, and then back on the horse.
Well, you can sleep in your car. It always works.
There you
It
go.
does. Remember that.
You're a master of that. In
I
fact, if
am.
you misbook your hotel room, that's always an option.
That's also right. Because they could have easily misbooked your hotel rooms down there, and you would have slept in your cars outside of the.
In fact, let's rename your car the Chateau Robert.
I like that. I like that.
That's great.
All right. There's no vacancy.
Ever.
It doesn't even want me in
Always
there.
occupied.
All right.
Letter of the day?
Yes, please.
All right, here we go.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
Now, the Daily Letter.
All right, the President and Steve Show is brought to you today by the letter
G, as in green.
All right, we're starting with a G, and we're going to give away a road trip for 2 to go to Washington, D.C. with Philly Sports Trips to watch the Phils and the Nationals on opening day, Thursday, March 27th. For more information and more trips, you can go to phillysportstrips.com, and trust us, they do it right at phillysportstrips.com. All right, St. Patty's Day, obviously. What else is coming up today?
We will have tickets for the Black Keys, as you just mentioned, playing the Borgata. We will have a block of Heart for Nancy Wilson's birthday. That also will account for our covering International Women's History Month, and a block every day of some lovely ladies, individually or collectively, in this case, of Heart, and a giant block of St. Patrick's Day songs.
Awesome. Right. I want to thank the fine sponsors of our program. Thank you to Duncan. The President Steve Show runs on Duncan, and also brought to you by Acme Markets, fresh foods, local flavors. Tomorrow on the program, we're delighted to have a guy. You may not be familiar with his name, but we've had him on the show several times, but it's been a long, long time. I mean, like maybe a decade since we've had him in here. He's a wonderful guitarist by the name of Andy McKee, and he does instrumental guitar compositions, and they're just beautiful. They're excellent. He does a finger picking style and hits the body of the guitar and does all kinds of percussive things on it. It's really cool. So he'll be in our studio, and we'll do Tattoos Day and Triumphant Return of Kathy Romano.
Yes, all vim and vigor and ready to go.
All right, so that's it. We're done. Rage on. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow, friend. Bye-bye.